Hey folks, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I hope you're having a really good Sunday. I'm just checking the mic levels because I have changed some stuff on the setup this week. But it's looking good. It's looking good. I've got my nice big thick PT hoodie on because it's actually really cold here at the workshop today. For some reason it's only 11 degrees in my office, but it'll be fine. We have a hot coffee to keep me warm. And I've got your guys' company as well. Okay, let's catch up with chat. Reed says, am I first again? Yes, you came first. Good, sir. Reed always comes first, says Super Hands. Yes, he does. Yeah. I do need a t-shirt that says, I came first on Jade's streams. I feel like I do need to get Reed that t-shirt next time I see him. And make him wear it. Rue, good evening, good sir. I hope you're doing well. Jehovah in bed as well. Good evening, good sir. Thank you very much for being here. Godzilla Bottles here too, says good evening all. Sean Wen says, wow, this feels early. No, it's 8 o'clock, Sunday night. Same time as every week. True Blaze is here too. Average Joe says good evening. Zizora says, a seal build on mine now. Yeah, I know we had issues with yours, I'm glad we got you sorted. I haven't even opened mine properly yet, so we will see what mine's like and whether we have any issues with it. And we might need to do some housekeeping while we talk about PT stuff, because there is 2 key set choices that I think are quite relevant today, and I need to take the key sets off other boards so that we can actually use them when it comes to the poll when we build the board. So yeah, Mr. Kalane is here as well. Good evening, good sir. I hope you're doing well. Anaki's here too. He says, hi Jane chat. Hope that everyone is having a good weekend. Time for some homely watch Jay whilst doing the ironing. I'm not doing any ironing, buddy. Like, if you want me to do your ironing, that doesn't fall within the £600 a month OnlyFans tier. That it doesn't cover it, I'm afraid. That would be an extra service that you would have to pay extra for. Lazy Keiko, good evening, good sir. It's quite chill and relaxed. Yeah. We can do chill and relaxed. I don't do it. I don't mind it. I've been forked out for a fancy vacuuming ironing board and steam generator setup, but it's still tedious. I used to iron clothes religiously when I had an office job. And that was because I had a lot of shirts and I'd wear a different shirt every day and everything needed to be pressed and trousers needed to be pressed and everything. So I ended up doing a lot of ironing back then. I have probably touched an iron in the last 4 years, maybe 3 times. And each time it has been to iron something of my wife's, not my own, because the only shirts I ever really wear now are kind of like overshirts. So it's so incredibly rare I go anywhere that I actually need a shirt pressing, and if I do, I just take it to the dry cleaners now. So yeah, I think I've been to 1 wedding where I needed to wear a shirt, and I in fact that wedding was a friend of mine called Mousie's. You might know Mousie if you've been in the UK scene of keyboards. He's a really nice guy. He invited me to his wedding 3 summers ago. I think it's 3 summers ago now, and I got the hotel staff to do my ironing for me, which is great. Super Hands gadgets tips are the best gadget tips. Everyone loves the tip. Villeneuve, hey man, good to see you. Thank you for being here. You sounded delightfully leveled, sir. Thank you. I have changed and tweaked the mic setup a little bit, so the mic's a little bit closer, a little bit lower, so it's only just out of this camera view. So like this is the top of the camera view here. The mic is just there. Like before, it used to be quite a bit higher. And the reason for that is because I have a new system that's coming this week that bolts onto the back of the monitor that allows me to have the stream lights kind of like pre-positioned on there, and the mic and the cameras and everything, so I don't have to have 2 lights on stands, and I don't have to have the up and over camera on its own kind of tripod thing that it's sat on, and everything else. It all kind of connects onto the back of the monitor, which is quite cool. So that now that that's shipping, I figured I'd better start to tackle it. Looking forward to that personal stuff still. Yeah, so Crispy's, who has built the raffle software that we're going to use for my personal stuff to sell it, is popping over one day this week. We were literally talking about this earlier on today. He's going to pop over one day this week, I think, and we're going to figure out how best to use it, what I'm actually going to put on it, and when that's going to happen. I'd like to do it at a time where I can sell my personal stuff, and then if people are coming to the open day, they could collect it on the day. That would be quite nice, because we are doing the open day soon, and there'll be some announcements on that probably Tuesday, Wednesday, when I've managed to go through all the data and assimilate it and understand everything that you guys have suggested about the open day and the meetup that we're doing. So yeah, that will all be tied in together soon. Nufi says hello and another Sunday stream. Yes, it is another Sunday stream. Amen as well, and Dynamics, thank you so much for being here. Troy Jump says, I never iron anything anymore. Yeah, I feel that way. Colleen says, spare a thought for us wage cooks. Dude, I'm not sure that quite qualifies for you. This is the joy of being a software engineer, so as long as you show up, it's fine. Yeah. JQ, thank you so much for 44 months of subs. That's kind of crazy. 44 months is huge. With sweet Halcyon days, yeah. Why do they call it non-iron shirts when they still need ironing? Complaining to trading standards. So I do have some non-iron shirts that you could get away with wearing without ironing, as long as you weren't wearing them with a suit. Like, if you have to be suited and booted, they absolutely need ironing. If you are wearing them with jeans, I think you could get away with it. So I think they would say that their definition on the non-iron shirts is that they're as comfortable casual shirts, not business related shirts. So yeah, you've definitely thought about that more than I have. Well, we did talk about it. Handheld steamer, yeah, a little handheld steamer would be cool, like a personal one. I remember when I used to live back in the UK, I would stick my clothes in the dryer and then as soon as it's done, hang them on a hanger straight away and never need to iron anything. Yeah, that's not a bad way of doing it. I do have a semi-related funny story about this. Years and years ago, this would have been maybe 2014, 2015. I was just spinning up a large project for the company I used to work for, and we had a series of meetings in London, and another project had kind of just finished that I'd kind of guided over the finish line, and we were kind of spinning up something new. So I was there for a series of meetings across the course of a week to spin up something new. And on the Monday or the Tuesday night, I can't remember which it was, we decided on the previous project that everyone who'd been involved was going to go on a night out, because that's the smart thing to do in London, right? So we were all down there in London, and we'd all travelled in from various parts of the country, and we were there with the team in London, and some of them were coming on to the new project with me, but most of them were kind of going off to different things. So we went on a night out. It got pretty messy, and I remember getting back to the hotel room and realising, it's going to be a long day tomorrow. Jay, you should prep now, because I wasn't totally plastered. Like, I was still very within control of myself to an extent. So I thought, Jay, you need to sort yourself out ready for tomorrow. So make sure you got all your clothes out, everything else. Hang your shirt up, go have a shower, and then get into bed, get some sleep, and you can get up bright and early, get a coffee, get some breakfast, get to work by 9 o'clock, crack out the meetings that you've got to do, and crack on with life. So that was the thought I had. So I hung my shirt up and got my suit ready and prepped and everything else, and drew all the curtains and got the bed ready and stuff, and then decided I was going to jump in the shower. Turned the shower on. Next thing I knew, my alarm was going off because it was 7:30 in the morning. I'd remembered to set the alarm. 7:30 in the morning. And as I got up, I realised that I wasn't in the bed. I was on the couch for some reason, and I was still wearing the clothes I'd gone out in the night before. I'd left the shower still running. I'd left the shower on and just fallen asleep on the couch. I assume I'd sat down to get ready for the shower, or whatever, and then fallen asleep. Everything was dripping wet through. The whole room was just full of condensation. You could barely see across the room. This was in the M by Montcalm at Shoreditch. So everything in those rooms in that particular hotel, like on an automated iPad type thing, so you can control the blinds and everything else. The iPad, when I tried to touch the screen to turn more of the lights on, didn't register my fingerprint because it was so wet. I managed to get that dried off and working, and went into the bathroom, turned the shower off, and all of my clothes were just sopping wet through. Luckily, I had some chinos and a t-shirt that were in a suitcase that wasn't too damp inside. So the next thing that's happening is I'm rushing across London at 8 o'clock in the morning, trying to find somewhere that's open to buy a shirt and some trousers that I can actually go to the office in, ready to present the meetings. Luckily, the presentations and everything went well. We got the funding we were looking for, and the projects took off and everything. But it was like a mad 2-hour dash to try and get to those meetings, and everything was so wet. Like, I had to apologize to the hotel staff. I was like, I think I left the shower on overnight, and like, it happens. I was like, yeah, but everything is wet. They came in, they actually took all of my clothes, laundered them, and got them nice and dry. They cleaned the whole room out, put a new mattress in and everything else, because it was all so wet. It was kind of crazy. It's a long time ago now. You could cut a banana on the collar when I'm done with it. Nice. Bazuko, thank you so much for 10 months of subs. I thoroughly appreciate that. Did I come first? Yes, you did, Captain Reed. Yes. Haven't ironed anything in ages. My work gear gets washed and ironed by a special company. That's alright. Just in time for the Sunday roast. Nice. In 2017, I caused the fire alarms to go off in the Brighton Hotel on the seafront because I did the good old businessman's iron by trying to steam a shirt by running the shower, which ended up triggering the fire alarm. Security guards burst into my room whilst I was just in a towel. Nice. Did police invest me? Nope, not missed anything. We've only just started. Sounds pretty plastered to me. No, like I was in a. I can remember being in the room and being like, okay, I need to sort things out. I think I was just dead tired. Dead tired. Sounds like a Tuesday. Yeah, I never did get the hang of Tuesdays. Not every time you wake up for with everything wet and it's a good thing. No. Ball boy, good evening, good sir. Been a couple of chaotic months, you haven't caught up with the streams, but have been loving Roll for Caffeine. Nice, nice. I didn't have a chance to pre-record Saturdays and Sundays episodes for Roll for Caffeine, and Friday's episode for some reason got blocked on Instagram and TikTok. So I think there must be some wording in there that it doesn't like. So I think it's episode 15. Episode 15 will actually be released on Monday, and then I'll do another one. So yeah, a little bit behind on that, but thank you for keeping up with it. It's been good fun. We've had some good coffees and some really terrible ones. We mod likes and comments on Roll for Caffeine. Get up on it. Yeah, absolutely it does. It's not as big of an impact as I'd have liked. I think so. I was looking at the stats, and I think it was episode 12 was probably our best one yet, and it had something like 15,000 views on one platform across all 3 platforms in total that I posted on. And when I looked on one platform, which was TikTok, it had maybe 5,000 or 6,000 views at the time, and the average viewer spent 1 second on it, and it was like, okay, so it's not actually views, it's just people who've had it in their feed, right? So yeah. It wasn't a strip for coffee, was it? No, it wasn't. I wasn't stripping. No. But there must have been some wording in it that the platforms didn't like. But either way, that's what it is. Right, okay. Whilst I'm talking to you guys, because I do have some PT news to talk you through, I am going to start pulling keycaps off of 2 boards, because we are building the Cosmos edition. So I'm going to take Cosmos off of this board and put it back in the tub. And then I'm going to take Midnight Rainbow off this board and put that back in the tub. Is that Cosmos there? Yeah. So I'm going to do this whilst I'm talking to you, and then we're prepped for the actual stream itself. Okay, so in terms of PT news, a few things happening this week. GMK Copper has arrived, but I believe that Gion has noticed some issues with it. I'll flick over cameras actually so you can see what I'm doing. But Gion has noticed some issues with GMK Copper, so I think we're gonna see what that means for actually shipping out the group buy. But it is here at the workshop, or most of it is anyway. I think there's still part of the shipment still to arrive on Monday, but hopefully we'll be able to get that out this week. If we are waiting for fixed kits, we'll probably just wait to dispatch it until we get all of the fixed keys in, because I believe it's the space bars that are the wrong colour, so we just need to double check on that. No, Led Zeppelin sold out, Mochief. Jay, did you forget to shill? No, I'll do some shilling in a minute. Happy to do an Aussie soundboard for Roll for Caffeine. Yeah, that'll be cool, man. We'll have a chat about that. So we'll see where we land on GMK Copper, but there'll be some updates on Notion once we know. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to ship it out this week and then just do the fixed kits later if it's only like a certain child kit that's affected or something like that. But if it's all the base kits, we'll just have to wait a little bit. That's the downside. Hi, my brother. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you. You appreciate the coming soon feature. Yeah, we'll have a look on the website in a minute. I'll just take the keycaps off this board while I'm telling you about some stuff, and then we'll have a look on the website, and then I'll do the keycaps on the other board. So yeah, other news that's happening this week is We should get the final samples for hot chocolate on the coffee site. So we are going to have a hot chocolate that's going to be on there, which is going to call the Romance. We should get the final samples for that this week, and then be able to put that in the packaging design as well, and then be able to put that live probably the first week in October. So that should be good fun. Roll for Caffeine also will be getting pumpkin spice latte and a winter spice from this week as well, so back into the week, because we're now getting to that time of year, so watch out for those. Our next container for PT for Prototypist is almost due at dock. It's due to hit port on the 21st, so I'm hoping we're going to get that around the 25th, something like that. But it's all on track still at the minute, so we'll see where that gets to in the next week or so. But I'm hopeful that that will come in before the end of the month, enable us to get all of the group buys and pre-orders from that shipped out early in October. That's kind of where the plan is for that. And our next container is just about to set sail as well. I think Sharon confirmed that that sets sail on the 16th. Does our next container. So yeah, that should be arriving towards the back end of October. So we'll have two within about a 4-week gap between them, which will be nice. So yeah, we shall see how that all pans out. Catch up with chat. What's the board you're removing the keycaps from? This is a Neo 60 CU with lots of fingerprints on it in HHKB layout. It's got a sparkly case as well, if you can see the sparkles, so it matches Cosmos quite well. So Dynamics, on the roll for caffeine, one of the chaos rolls is that it could be hot sauce that has to be added to the coffee, or we also have one where it's pickles, but it's actually a pickle hot sauce. So yeah, those can happen. Theseus is still haven't left the manufacturer. No, I've been chasing this up. I'm slightly worried because I understand, from what I understand, Dankeeb's order is already shipped from the manufacturer and is en route to the US, but our order still hasn't left the manufacturer, from what I was told the other week. So we've been chasing up on that. I haven't heard anything specific or anything new. But it looks like they're not going to make the next ship because they're not going to be at our warehouse in the next 2 days, or it's very, very unlikely that's going to be the case, which does mean that I don't know when we're going to get them. LOV, KKB Lilies of the Valley has been airshipped now over to us, so we're not waiting for a container for that, so that should arrive pretty soon, and then we'll be able to get that shipped out hopefully this week. And then Klein Blue is going to come to us as well in about a week's time, I think. I'm currently trying to get hold of more Type Plus stabs, yes. Someone is trying to block us from buying them, so I don't know how that's going to go, but we'll see. Okay, I do now need to take Midnight Rainbow off the JO1 prototype because this might be a set that you guys picked today. And then we'll take a look at the website and show you guys some stuff on there. Where did Midnight Rainbow? Is that it? Oh, it's here. I have to go into website. But yeah, I'm hopeful that we'll have more Type Plus stabs in very, very soon. What coffee am I drinking today? This is just a latte. It's our fiction blend. You can buy it on our website. I'll show you guys that in a few minutes' time. Also noticed the Matrix Lab news station. Yeah, there might be a slight price reduction on that. So if anyone's bought that, you might get a small refund very, very, very soon. You want a typing test on this? Sure. Let me pause the music. Sounds so good. I know the spacebar needs some work. I think the stabilizers come out because it's not returning properly. This board gets a lot of abuse at open days and when people visit for keyboards and coffee, so it does need a rebuild. Really, it's getting to the point in its life cycle where it needs a rebuild. But yeah, we'll sort the Type Plus stabilizers out and we'll try and get an order in. But yeah, need to get one to complement my noose. Yeah. Midnight Rainbow, you will be mine. News on this week. So I have started to go through all of the feedback for Midnight Rainbow. There's some really good feedback in there, and I should have some new kits by Wednesday. Mario at GMK is primed and has already arranged for me to get an even bigger discount on it than we were expecting, for being a long-standing customer. So he's primed and waiting for the new kits to requote immediately. So I'm hopeful that we might be able to launch it sooner than I thought. I'm hoping we can actually launch it either late September or early October. So we will see. We will see. Midnight Rainbow will always have Yukaiso in base. Why aren't you using a custom Jane anymore? I switch keyboards periodically. The Jane does get a lot of use. It's not actually a Jane, it's a koala. It's a custom TGR koala. I do have a couple of Janes, but the one with the Prototypist logo on the TKO cluster just here is a koala, not a Jane. Tengus, hello good sir. Whoops. What's the plate, Jay? Carbon fiber. This is a POM plate with what switches these? Black cherry pie switches. Sounds so good. Thank you, man. It is one of the best sounding boards we've ever produced here at PT. It sounds so good. Having a skill issue. How do you guys tune Type Plus stabilizers? Find it really hard because there's no opening. I want to desolder the whole keyboard. So you'll get to see, Cherry, if you watch, I'm going to be building the Type Plus stabilizers for the Seal build shortly. So you'll see when I do that how I loop them. A couple of Janes, but no J-nons. Maybe not. I think that's a terrible idea. No one wants to buy that. Okay, what else do I need to tell you about PT? We'll cover off current group buys and the website changes and stuff like that in a few minutes when I finish this. I think that's pretty much it for PT news. Current container, next container, next couple of weeks. I know that GMK is getting ready to ship a couple of other group buys out. They've, as I say, they've just shipped us copper, which is downstairs, or most of it's downstairs, but I think it will need a fixed kit. And then I think there's some more stuff coming very soon. So I need to confirm with them what that is and what we can expect time-wise for it. Oh, and don't forget there is buy one get one free on all in-stock desk mats over the weekend as well. Happens automatically at checkout. Everyone struggles finding the opening from time to time. Claim. Behave, good sir. It's my buyer request asking where MK Choco Donuts is. I don't know. I'll check with. I think. Do you know what? It might be in one of the containers that's coming. Actually, it might be in the next container. Let me see if I can find it in Notion. Give me a second. Oh, sorry about that. I apologize. I think. That it's not on the list. I'm sure that it's on the way. Okay, so I'm looking at the stuff that's confirmed in the shipping. It doesn't say it on here, but I'm sure it's on the shipment that's just about to leave. I'm sure it is. I'm almost certain I've seen that. I don't think Sharon just updated it, but I'm pretty certain it is. Don't think it's on the public Notion because only Super Hands go. It wasn't just Super Hands, it was like Super Hands and a couple of others, but we didn't buy many extras. Super Hands brown caps. It's a cool set, man. It's a cool set. I know why you want it. I get it. I get it. I will. I'll chase it up with Sharon on Monday. Believe me, we don't want group buy orders outstanding for any longer than they have to be. They are a blight on my my Shopify record. You shouldn't be getting ads if you subscribe, Rue. Unless it's because you moved over to Ko-fi. Okay. Oh, I've got the F keys to do. He moved? Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Nico, no, only the updates that are on the updates pages that it's still in production. It has not shipped from GMK to us yet. Hey Gemma, chat. I have a favour to ask of you. Can you all, and she's going to kill me for saying this, wish Gemma a happy birthday in chat, please, because it is Gemma's birthday. So I want to say happy birthday to her, and I think you should all do the same and put the SPC rockets in chat for her as well. I knew she'd hate that I'd done that. It is Gemma's birthday, so say happy birthday, and I want to see lots of rockets in chat. Can I do the rocket from here? Yeah. There we go. I'm gonna have some angry DMs after that. There we go. Thank you guys, I appreciate that. Kind of funny, so many people have birthdays in September. My birthday was recently. Well, happy birthday for yesterday. Do you know why so many people have birthdays in September? Do you want to know the legitimate reason why so many people have birthdays in September? It's because 9 months before that are all the Christmas and New Year's Eve parties, and people tend to be sex is the answer. Sex is the answer. Yeah, Christmas and New Year's Eve. That's what it is. That's what it is. Right. Okay. Let's take a look at the website. And I'll do the shilly shill stuff because like I do have to do that. Like it is part of the running a company, right? Is this gonna work? Yay. Okay, cool. So the website has changed a little bit. You will now see there is a key cult number 3 group by right at the top of the page, and the configurator does work. So you can click on the configurator and you can pick every single part of this wireframe model to create your own key cult, and it will make it for you. So you can pick whether you won't see the drop downs, but you can pick whether you want a black. You see how it builds up? Let's say we wanted yellow, and let's say we wanted a solder PCB, drops that in there, and let's say we wanted an aluminium plate in silver. So you can pick up a copper mid piece, pick up a wing keyless board with, let's say, I don't know, let's say we wanted a different color to the base. Let's say we wanted to go with purple, and then you get the hardware pack as well. So you can play around with this configurator, and you can kind of make whatever color combinations you would like. There are some pre-configured color combinations that you can have a look at and see what you think of. But and it shows you from all the different angles there. But the TKL number 3 is now live. The prices shown here don't include VAT because it's
incredible.
Unfortunately, this is Novel Keys tool, so it will only show the full price when you add it to cart. So for example, we've only put that bit in there, but it'll add the VAT in cart. It's a tool stolen from Novel Keys, so it doesn't have all of the required stuff on there. But do check it out because that's in stock. It's an unlimited group buy, so if you want a key cult number 3, this is how you get a hold of it. Other things to call it out, we now have a coming soon section on the website. I know this has been a long time coming, funnily enough. So yeah, I'm really, really sorry that it took us so long to do this, but we now have a coming soon section. The reason this is a challenge is, and this is a really silly techie in the weeds kind of thing, but the only way to create a good version of this is to have each one of these created as an actual product in Shopify, which is our backend tool. So you will have always seen that we have like group buy and in stock and pre-order products delineated by the brackets at the start. So now we've done this one for coming soon. I've had to disable all of the quick add on this particular page, so you can't add it to cart and you can't buy and everything else, and hide pricing and everything else. It's been a bit of a pain, but we got there finally. So these are all the stuff that's coming soon. Midnight Rainbow you know about. Midnight Rainbow is coming back. There's details of it here. More information will be added over time. And there'll be some big announcements on Midnight Rainbow next week. On Monday morning, this one will disappear because the Ramune 60 does start on Monday morning. The group buy for this starts on Monday morning, so this will disappear on Monday as the group buy starts. But this is a really pretty board based on the water bottles from Japan, which is really nice. lovely board. And also Nerve-Wrecker will start on Monday as well. So the group buy for GMK Nerve-Wrecker will start, and that means the coming soon pages will go away. But the other side of it is there's also stuff like GMK Windbreaker, finally confirmed. And here are the actual renders of the GMK version. We are working on a UK ISO inclusion, so watch out for that. There it is on the TKL number 3, for example. So yeah, watch out for that, coming really, really soon. Starts 10th of October. But yeah, you can check all of this sort of stuff out. This page will be updated with anything else that's happening. It won't just be products that we're going to be selling, it'll also be events like the open day that we're doing. That will update and the title will change as we get more information and things, dates are set and stuff like that. So definitely take a look at that. In terms of live pre-orders, I just want to call out that Gurikawa and the Obliques there. The Oblique, I don't understand why these haven't sold out yet. This is such a great keyboard. It's absolutely amazing. We built it on stream a couple of weeks ago. I do not sleep on these guys if you're interested, because they are really cool. What else to call it out? Stock drops. The Bulwark TKL is now in stock. This took a long time to ship, but it is really, really nice sounding keyboard. The Doll built a version of this keyboard on Instagram. He shared the build on Instagram and our Discord. It was really, really cool. Really, really nice. And of course, we've got things like Prussian Blue and Hyper Beige and everything else in stock. So please do go check out our stock stuff. And the other thing to call out as well is on desk mats. If you buy any desk mat on the in-stock desk mat page, it will be buy one get one free. So you buy any 2 desk mats and you'll get the cheapest one for free. So if I add the Jade Dragon desk mat to cart, and I add a British Racing Green R2 desk mat to cart, and then I view the cart, you will see that we get the cheapest desk mat for free automatically. That will apply for any in-stock desk mats over the course of the weekend. That will finish at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Oh, it flicked over now. Look, it's made the other one free. I don't know why. For the same price. It shouldn't make a difference. But yeah, you get buy one get one free on desk mats. So yeah, that finishes at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So in about 12 hours time. Cool. Okay. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you on the website. Yeah. Other things are check out our coffee on Jay's Roastery. We ship coffee every day, so please do consider that. Hot chocolate should be coming really, really soon. And Roll for Caffeine. This is where you can watch our daily Dungeons and Dragons style Roll for Caffeine. So this was episode 16. Episode 17 will be launched on Monday. I need to catch up a little bit. But yeah, it's all good fun. And we make a coffee based on what the dice tell us to make, which is good. It's interesting. So please do check that out. Right, okay. And then we will have a look at Geek shortly as well. I won't load that up for now, but there we go. That is the shilling done. I will try not to shill too much more. Do check out our group buys. Do check out our pre-orders. Do buy some in-stock stuff. Keep us going. It'd be great. Cool. Okay, let's flip back to chat and catch up with what you guys have been saying. Valentine's Day? Yeah. Sure. Because their parents slept together at Christmas. Thank you, Mr. Reed. Yeah, thank you. It's cold and stay warm. Yeah, gotta stay warm. The storks prefer to fly at that time of year. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. Yellow one that came out so good. I wish more keyboards came in that color. I think yellow is an underrated. Yellow and orange are underrated colors for keyboards. We did some orange keyboards like the Argyle and the Lodestone prototype 7 or 8 years ago. Really, really good color. Really good color. Do I get one for review? Silly Mellow, do I get one of what for review? Sorry. If you mean the TKL number, the Keycult number 3, I have asked Mike for one. He said if he can get me one, he will do. But apparently all of their review units are out at the moment. So it'll be someone else's review unit if they can get it to me in time. They give it as Topra EC, I'd get it. I think that there is going to be a Dynacap conversion kit for it. I think. I'm sure that Clever told me that. Or someone told me that Clever had said that. Because he's done the other Keycult board. So I think there might be at some point. Still debating on Gurikawa. Don't debate too long because there is not many extras of that. I did not buy a ton. It didn't sell particularly well for us in the UK, so I didn't buy a ton of extras. I bought 100% extras, but that's not that many. So don't wait because I think it's about a third sold out on the pre-orders. I just wish that the first thing to appear in the coming soon section was a link to the coming soon section. Yeah, I'm not that much of a terrible person. I could have done it, but yeah, it didn't. The thought never occurred to me. Clearly, I'm not in my British zone at the moment. Windbreaker looks sick. Yeah, I agree. Any update on the open day? I need to A, see if I can make it, and B, price of flights. No, there'll be an announcement this week on it, so keep looking on Discord, and there'll be an announcement probably on Wednesday, I think. I have got all of the feedback. The form has closed. I did spend some time on Saturday morning going through it, but I've more just condensed it rather than assimilated all that information. So I now need to understand what people are looking for and everything else. And I also need to, it's not just about what people voted for, it's also about what the business needs and staff and everything else. So there's a million things to go through this week, but we'll try and get an update out by Wednesday on, at the very least, the date. So yeah, excited for that though. Very tempted to pick up the Matrix gear. Yeah, so if you already have, let's have a look at this, because it is really expensive, but there is potential that the price on these are going to drop slightly. So the new station keyboard, this is kind of like a macro pad add-on for the Matrix Lab Noose, which is the one with the pistons that opened up on the side. It comes in all the different colors of the Noose, and where are the other pictures? Yeah, so you can see it's like a macro pad with a screen. The screen actually folds out and folds up vertical as well, like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's also USB pass-through. I think it's got 3 USB entries on the back and 4 on the front, or vice versa. It's got 7 USB points, so you can daisy chain devices off of it, which is pretty cool. There it is on top of the 60%, so you can see how the design language matches, which is really nice. And it's just a really, really cool little board. Look how beautiful that looks together. Look how cool that setup is. So yeah, so that's that one, and then there is the wing. So this is the matching numpad that goes with it as well. So you can have all 3 together and daisy chain together quite nicely. Comes in all of the different colors that you'd expect it to be in, and this is just a cool little product. It's just really cool. Look at this with the folding phone, and then you can see the pistons in here. Look, really, really cool. So yeah. They are expensive. I do think there's going to be a small drop to the pricing. Oblotsky and I were talking about it this morning. So if you have already bought these, there will be a small refund coming your way. I don't know the price difference until we work it out tomorrow, but there will be a small price drop on these because we have realized just how expensive they are, and we're going to make sure that we make less of a margin on it to make sure it's a better deal for people. So there will be a small refund coming for the couple of people that bought them. But yeah, it is a really, really cool product. Right, let's hide the browser again. Windbreaker looks sick. Yeah, Windbreaker looks so good. So many cool key sets coming. There's always cool key sets coming. Oblique is fire. Oblique is super fire. It's such a cool board. Mine is... Oh, it's right over there. I can't reach it. But it's such a cool board. It came out really, really nice. I think people prefer the Ramune 60. Maybe. We'll see how it sells on Monday when it goes live. Will there be a live roll for caffeine on the open date? We can do roll for caffeine live dynamics, yes. And if you are here, I will let you roll the dice and while we record it. Yeah, we can absolutely do a live roll for caffeine. And maybe if you make a significant enough donation to charity on our, because where the coffee station is, we have like a little QR code where you can donate to Macmillan. If you make a significant enough donation to Macmillan, maybe I'll let you even play the game for yourself. Who knows? But you have to drink whatever you roll. That's the rule. That's the rule. I thought all of the wing keyless obliques had sold out. We'll have another look. I don't think so. I think there's still some of them available. Plastic Bits, hello. Thanks for coming. Do we have dates for the JO1 and JO3 group buys? Not yet, no, Root. Very soon, I'm hoping to have the information. So I had a conversation with Manu and STR last week before? Last week. Basically we're just tweaking the design a little bit because there's a couple of things from the prototypes that never changed on the actual production files, so I just need to do that and then export all of the files again, and then the factory is going to requote and we're going to look at timescales for doing it, and pricing, so it won't be too far away. Float 65 in safety yellow looked gorgeous. Yes, I think that was the colorway I had. I think it's coming back in that same color. Will you ever make a J69? No, probably not. Like that's like the J series after the JO1 and JO3 final editions run. There'll be no more boards in the J series. I won't do any more of them. There'll be other products though that we do, just not those. Rado says orange and yellow are my favourite colour keeps. I always get those, but very rarely available. Yeah, I agree. Incredibly happy to drink terrible things for the enjoyment of others, my man. Nice. So Clever had some new boards on Geek Hack. Very interesting. Yeah, I think we're going to run them for the UK, I think. We've had some introductory conversations about it. Crossing my fingers for Marmite, the superior choice. So on Roll for Caffeine, there is one option on the Chaos. So if we roll and have Chaos, means that something good or bad that's really weird can happen at the end. And one of them is on the coffee cup, the rim around the outside could be Marmite, which is interesting. I just realised that the alert box didn't show. Oh, I see why. Hold on. I thought I'd fix this the other week. There we go. That'll show now next time someone subscribes. That news station has some serious hardware. It does, yeah. Like because it's got like the 7 USB hub in it, it's pretty cool. Awesome 3-piece setup. It really is. Yeah, yeah. We get the new station. Not sure about the numpad though. Yeah, I mean, if you do order them. Like now, like what we'll do is once we've reset the price, anyone who's already bought it will do the refunds as well. So don't worry about that. I can't make one of the dates, but the other two are fine. Nice, nice. Alvi, good evening, good sir. Duodod, Jay, what do you think about the Ramunu 60 Gurakawa edition with GMK Star? I think that'd be a fire little little setup. That'd be really nice. Manu, hey man, how many caps you have? How many caps of what? How many what? Like hats? I don't know. Dozens. Do you mean keycaps? Too many. Estevina Papaya, hello. Bring your own rig dice set to the meetup. What? So that you can roll the coffee that you want. Hats, yeah, I don't know, man. I have probably a hat in every color at this point. I don't even know. I've got purple, green, tan, pink, red, blue. I've got multiple blues. There's like 2 or 3 different blues. I've got 2 or 3 different greens as well. Yeah, I like loads of hats. Loads of hats. Like just and the reason why I wear a hat here at the workshop is because all of the product comes like overseas. It can get quite greasy and grimy but dry at the same time, and I'm forever the sort of person, if I'm not wearing a hat, I'm running my fingers through my hair because I don't put product in it, and if my hands get dirty and greasy or oily when I'm working on the cars and stuff like that, I just end up messing up my hair, and I really don't it. You expected me to be bald? God no, dude. I am far from bald. Look, check it. Full head of hair. I don't think my hair's glorious, but I do have plenty of hair. Do you have a hat with the SPC rocket on top? No, but I do have one that says prototypist on it. Bald or bold? Bold would be bold. Bald would be with no hair. Luscious locks. I'm not sure my hair is what I would call luscious. He's wearing a wig. Thanks. It's always a bold, as in cricket, maybe. Or bowl as in a bowl of soup. Dunno. Who knows? I'm not wearing a wig though. Not wearing a wig. Relative to age, Jay has far better hair than me. Do you know what? I think I've done alright with my hair. Like, I'm 40 years old. I haven't really receded. I have grey hairs on my temples and the odd one running through. I have more greys in my beard than on my head. I feel like I've done it okay, but it's literally because I don't like to put product in my hair ever, and like I'll do it maybe 4 or 5 times a year if I'm going to like an event or something, and I like to be able to run my fingers through my hair just because that's what I like to do. And here at the workshop it gets so greasy and grimy that what ends up happening is I just end up having to wash my hair like properly with like loads of shampoo every day if I don't wear a hat. So I wear a hat to stop that happening, and then I only wash it like twice a week. I do have some grey hairs. GMK Grid. I don't know if we've formally agreed that yet or not, Alvi. But Tron is absolutely something that I would want to support on any key set that does it, because, well, Flynn is my surname, so the main character is like literally named after me. So yeah. Your beard is going grey. Yeah. Especially here. I have like a stripe here where it's going grey. And here as well. Or is it this side? One of the sides, I can't remember. But I have like a stripe here that's starting to go grey. But it's alright. It's not overly grey. It's nice and thick. My temples are a little bit grey, which is the best way to show you. Just here, a little bit grey in there. But other than that, fine. There's no real greys on top yet. We're doing alright. We're doing alright. I haven't watched the new Tron film yet. Do you mean the one that's about to come out? Has it just come out? Or do you mean the one that came out a few years ago, like 10 years ago? Because there's one that's almost about to come out, I think. Was it 2014 the last one came out, I think? Was it 2014? Why can I not find the list of movies now? Tron movie list. Oh, 2010. 2010. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Tron Legacy in 2010. Yeah, okay. I thought it was 2014. I don't know why. Just rewatched it today. Absolutely love the film. Dude, like, the Tron movies are some of the best world building in sci-fi. Just the visuals, the way it looks, the way it feels. I'm really excited for the new one. Really excited for the new one. Yeah, yeah. Tron ride was great, but way too short. Yeah, the Tron ride is really good, actually, at Disney in Florida, but it is short. It is short. But the movies are fantastic. The movies are fantastic. It's one of the, the ride is one of those where it's like a bike and you have to straddle it and get your leg over. Yeah. Cool. Okay, right. Okay, so I think it's time for us to move on to the building because we've done all the shilling. Go buy stuff from PT, please. Just go buy lots of stuff, all the stuff. Just buy it all, please. Get loads of nice keyboard gear in exchange for monies, which is great. And go buy some coffee from Jay's Roastery. Not enough people buy coffee, so please buy more coffee. I'll do more roll for caffeine tomorrow, so if you're into that, watch out for it. Right, let's get that shilling done. That's all the shilling done now. We can get on with the build, so let's flick over the camera. I'll finish this coffee. You have to straggle it and get your leg over. Hello, Captain. Hey, what can I say? What can I say? No one wants to see me do that at all, ever. 5 out of 10 shilling. Sell me this pen. Okay. You want better shilling? Dynamics. Can you really call yourself a keyboard nerd if you haven't bought a TKL number 3 yet? No. I think everyone who is actually an enthusiast of keyboards has already placed their order for a TKL number 3 from Keycall. If you're not in that pot, then I don't think you're an enthusiast, or maybe you want to start to build your way up. Maybe you can be better. Maybe you can do more and be better as a keyboard enthusiast and get your order in before the stream ends. That was really terrible. I apologize, Dynamics. That was really bad. 2 for 1 desk mats, guys. Is your cabinet desk mat full? No? Then why haven't you bought 10 more? Exactly, right? Exactly. $11 out of 10 remortgaging. I am never going to be a good salesman. For someone who is such a terrible salesman, I don't know how I got into this. I don't know how I got into this hobby. Right, okay. Or into the business of being a vendor. Let me put key sets to one side because I do want to show you those later on. I've got some water here. Let's keep that out because I'm really thirsty. Let me put the key sets to here. I do have 5 key sets to choose from later, depending on how we build this board. So I'm just going to put them to one side. Right. So I need room because this comes in a really big box. Now sell me an international kit. Impossible. No one will ever buy an international kit. Okay. So I don't know if you've seen Depleted Vespine, but on Instagram I've been showing off my table of international excuse me, international kits. That coffee is just maybe a bit gassy, I apologise. I have a table full of international kits where we've sold out of the base kit and it's only the international kits left. And there's like 50,000 euros worth of international kits on that table. Anyway, this is a seal. It comes in a box. And inside that box is a case. What are the odds of 50% off international kits? Off all international kits weekend? Fuck it. Do you know what? Excuse my French. Do you know what? I don't know if I can do that right now, actually. I can't because I need to do it. Okay, I was going to say yes, I'll do it now for stream, but unfortunately I can't because one, I need a list of all the international kits to hand and I don't have that. And two, I can't create that kind of discount for individual variants of products. I can only do it at a full product level. But what I will do is I will do it tomorrow for this week. So starting tomorrow, for the whole week, for 1 week, I'll do 50% off any in-stock international kit where we don't have the base kit in stock. So it'll be things like Carbon, and it'll be things like Darling, and it'll be things like Alpine, and all of those are the GMK sets. So there's quite a lot of them. What I'll do is tomorrow morning, first thing I do while I'm having a coffee is I will get that list together. I'll make a discount purely for those, 50% off, and we'll run it for a whole week because there's 50,000 euros. I'd like that's not even going to cover my costs. Like they cost 50 euros each, right? Give or take, and we sell them for less than that when we sell them in stock. So I will sell them at 50% off. It will be at a loss. It will be basically a fire sale to generate some revenue from stuff that just otherwise won't sell. So yeah, that's what we'll do. So I'll do that tomorrow morning. I'll make Mel remind me. And yeah, we'll do 50% off international kits, and I'll just leave it open for a week, and I'll advertise it on Discord, and you guys know about it now. And yeah, there you go. So we'll do that tomorrow. I do it now, but I don't have a full list of all the international kits, and by the time I've sorted it out, the stream will be time to close the stream down, and we won't have built a keyboard. So I'll do it tomorrow, but I'll do it over coffee. Fouquet, the famous philosopher? Sure, yeah. In the Dark Dark Woods, there was a Dark Dark box, and the Dark Dark box was a Dark Dark case. Yeah, well, here is the case. $8,000 in debt. Well, what's another 500 quid gonna make? Pepega credit, yeah. Get your keyboard orders in. Jay, think of your accountant. Your accountant is going to take away your Shopify access. So I think this one is justified, right? Because we bought these. What he'll be upset about is the fact that I bought something that didn't sell in the first place, right? That's what he gets upset about, because that's a poor product decision from a business perspective. What he doesn't see is that the reason why I bought that product is to support the community and to do the right thing for the community. Okay, so there is a big difference between what my accountant sees as good business and what I see as good business for the community. Buying international kits at all in the first place is bad business. Like, it does not make any business sense. There is no business sense to do it, especially when we have to buy MOQ out. But it's the right thing to do for the community, so that's why we do it. I think he would rather me have some capital returned for those international kits than no capital returned. I'm pretty sure he'd be on that kind of bandwagon. So yeah. Ben Affleck screws on his silencer. Sorry if not allowed, but do you know any more accurate dates on when batch 8 of the new Ogres will ship apart from Q1 2026? Con Hayes, no. So how it works is we'll run so batch 8 is actually going to run for August and September. Batch 8 was going to be just August, but it's now August and September, just because of QK's production timeline and Neo's production timeline. At the end of September, we'll place the order and we'll pay for all of the boards that have been ordered by customers. They'll then take about 4 weeks to be produced, which will basically be across October. They'll then be sent to our warehouse in China, which will take 2 weeks, give or take. Reggie, thank you so much for the subscription. which take about 2 weeks, which puts us like mid-November. Then we'll arrange a container and a shipping container to come over to the UK. A boat to sail from China to the UK with a shipping container on with all the other containers takes between 4 and 6 weeks. Then we have a couple of weeks at customs. So realistically, it's going to be mid to late January is what we expect. Now, I don't want to say mid to late January on the product pages, just in case it's February or March when we get them because there's a delay. So we just say a quarter and we say, look, we're aiming for Q1. There is a very good chance, 25% chance, which is a solid number, that it actually delivers before that and we get them in November or December. It all depends on how long it takes QK to make them for us. 4 weeks is pretty quick. We have had some done in 2 weeks before, but 4 to 6 weeks is about average for the batches to be made. And then just shipping takes time. Like, we can't make boats sail any quicker across the ocean, unfortunately. But yeah, so I'd say early Q1, probably January. Certainly the first half of Q1 is what we'd expect, and there's a small chance you might even get it in Q4 of this year, depending on production timelines. I feel like every time I join one of these streams, it's just Jay talking about what responsible discounts he's running. Yeah, well, I do things for the community, not for me. Real shame more people don't like international kits. Whenever ISO is an option, it's the only option. Fair. Yeah, fair. Do you have new transitions on the stream? Looks so smooth. Thanks, man. Yes, I do have new transitions. I programmed like a Luma type wipe. So as we flick, it will now do that. Until it doesn't like it because I clicked the button too fast. But yeah, new transitions. I've been working on like some new stream backgrounds and assets as well, so expect those to change at some point in the near future. Question J on the key cut number 3. Are you planning to do a custom ISO plate? Yes, there will be a custom ISO plate available when the boards are ready to ship. So you'll be able to order a POM one through us. Yeah. Feels Star Warsy. Yeah, that's kind of the thing I was going for. Star Wipe is the best wipe. No. But like I want to do more things like the box around me here. I want to like change this up because kind of like prototypist colors have changed from this dull green to a bit more of a vibrant green over time. And whilst we tend to use more of the white logo and the black logo these days than the green one. So I kind of want to update all of the stream visuals. I don't like this bar at the bottom, right at the bottom. This one just here. I don't like this one being quite so thick. So I want to kind of adjust that. Maybe have the icons be see-through and translucent. They kind of open up a little bit more. Maybe show you more of the desk space. On this one, I think we can do a little bit more. I kind of like want to make the text block that's here kind of fit nicer into the stream. I want to change a few different bits for the starting screen. You won't hear me when I move over to the starting soon screen, but I want to change some bits on this one. Whereby I can update the list of what we're going to do on each stream a little bit better with a bit more of a dynamic box and based off of some other information as well. And yeah, there's just a few things I want to do. So we'll get there eventually. If we keep asking questions, the build will never stand. Dude, like, it's just how it goes. It's just how it goes. Chat doesn't pick Cherry Blacks. I don't actually have Cherry Blacks as a choice for the Switches, so you'll see the Switch choice soon. The build happens in the last hour of the 3-hour streams? Absolutely, yeah. Can always rely on chat to pick wrong? Absolutely. Vintage West German MX Blues. Is that what you want to see? Is that what you want? I do have some vintage dark MX Blues, which are pretty rare, but I only have enough for a 60%. Okay, right. Seal. Let's take a look at the board. We have a PCB. I don't know if mine is ISO compatible or not. I think one of them wasn't. We have light pipes and connectors. We'll see if we need those in a second. That's everything out of there. Okay. Let's look at the PCB. Oh, this PCB does support ISO. I think it was the hot swap one that had an issue with the ISO. This hole and this hole here weren't present for the stabilizers, so we had to have them remake the PCBs. And it looks like we're going to have to separate these two PCBs and then connect them with a ribbon cable on the bottom. So, yeah. Let's pop that to one side. Colors. Yeah, like you can see it's slightly translucent. It's a pretty cool design. Some nice tracing actually. It's nice to follow the traces here. And you can see it gets quite complex as it gets towards these connectors. Pretty cool PCB. How does that type of error still happen in 2025? Frustratingly, it happens. The PCB looks like you have to cut it out like an FX kit. That's exactly what you have to do. What you have to do is you have to snap it here. There's like little bits here. This is really, really common, to be honest, these days on PCBs. We have to snap that just like so. In fact, I'm going to grab some pliers for that. Easiest way to do this is to just hold with pliers where the break is, just like so, and then just twist, and it'll pop off. And you can just work your way down. You can snap them off with just your hands. I find you tend to get a cleaner break if you just use a pair of pliers. And then you can just come across afterwards and use some flush cutters to trim up the edges if needed. PCB snapping. Do you want to hear this right next to the microphone? There we go. So we can trim up these little bits here with some flush cutters before we solder. Cosmos seal looks so good. Yeah, I've never actually looked at this board. I can feel the plate being loose in there though. Fiberglass. They snap it in half as well. Yeah, I think we have to snap it in half too. Rails help with going through the pick and place production during manufacturing and also protect any connectors if they're present on the edge of the PCB. Yeah, absolutely. People getting antsy about having to snap PCBs. So I've never seen this keyboard because we've never opened it up, but I don't think, or if I have, I don't remember. Oh no, we did. I do remember. We did have a look at this because it's got one of the coolest weights on a keyboard. So here is the board, full size, wing keyless. You can see it's got a sparkle in that black. There is a sparkle in there. You can see it underneath the plate better than on the actual front of the case. The camera does not pick up much of the sparkle, but I promise you it is there. And then, god damn, the weight is milled. These are actually mill lines that are slightly offset to create the spiral. So this has been milled twice in a pattern. Can you hear this? Like it's got texture to it. It's beautiful. Look how trippy that is. Look how trippy it is. It's like a 3D spiral. I do have SA Black is Black. You guys can vote on it later. Okay. Right. First things first, I'm going to take a quick comfort break because I've been streaming for an hour and I've gone through a whole coffee. So I'm going to take a quick comfort break, and then when I get back, we will take this apart. Just screws together, so I'll take it apart, and then you guys can vote on what switches you'd like to see in the build, and then we'll put the whole build together. So I'll be back in. Give me 1 minute, guys. Give me 1 minute. Okay, apologies for that. I am back. Right, let's take this apart. I do need a tray. I have one here. Let's see if we've missed anything in chat. The back, yeah, it's a beautiful keyboard. You want to vote for GMK Cosmos? It's going to take forever to put those keycaps on. There's a few different keycap set choices today. Typing on a thermal, nice. Any chance of a cheeky discount on MW or Hambra? I don't think I can at the minute, Alvi, because it's not been long in stock. I tell you what, for you though, Alvi, because you're a beautiful human, I'll pop some freebies in the box when I see your order. Used all the points on Gator on Onyx. Fair. Does the weight design carry over to the back where the USB port is? Yes. Yeah, it does. Which is even better on this curve. Quickest gun for brighter cover. Thanks. I tried to be quick. I can't actually see what I'm doing. I put the board so far away from myself I can't see the screws. Bit younger than us? I thought you were the same age as me, Colleen. I thought you were 40 as well. Yeah, yeah. And if we do Cosmos today, it's not sorted in the box. It's in that box. It will take a while. Thanks, Salvi. I appreciate you, bud. Out of curiosity, why does Cosmos take so long to put on? It's really hard to see the legends. It's plain black legends on a sparkly black keycap. So when I say it's hard to see the legends, can you tell me what key that is? Hold on. Let me zoom in. Let me zoom right in, so we can get it under the light. So we have to go like this to see. So you see the legend's black, but the keycap's got sparkles in it. It's got that kind of like reddish, greenish tint to it. So you can see that that's just an M key. Then let's take a look at another one. What one's this? What key's that? Oh, it's an L. It's an L. And this is why it takes so long, because what key's this? Oh, it's a Z. There you go. It's a Z key. There you go. Took a second. That's why it takes so long to put that key set on a board. That is why it takes so long. Okay, so now we've taken the screws out. We should be able to pop off the top case. There we go. Let's take a look at the insides. So there's some cool details in here. It does say it's designed by, I can't pronounce it, it's Chinese, and co-produced by Vertex. It's got the lovely little logos on the inside here as well. You can see the sparkle much better on here now. Cables are already in place, and you can see the weight shining through. It's a rather nice piece. The weight is bolted in by a lot of screws, 8 screws. Good. These cutouts here, these 2 circles, this oval, and these 2 here are for stabilizers, because you've got the old Zondat style ledge here on the front lip. He used to try and trademark that as the Zon ledge. XON LEDGE, the Zon ledge. He did that first on the 378, I think. So there you go. Okay, let's put the base to one side because it is a chunk and it is beautiful. But I'm just going to put it to one side for a moment while we've built the rest of the board up. Okay, so next job is to take the plate out from the inside of the case. And what you'll notice here is, well, first of all, the plate is actually slightly too big. Shouldn't be doing that and popping. Like you'd expect bend, but not a pop like that. Tends to suggest it's slightly too big. But it could just be the way it's screwed in, because it is bowed slightly this direction right now. You can see here on this edge, it's slightly bowed the wrong way, and it should be nice and flat. It should be like there, but instead it's there. Anyway, the connectors here are bolted in, and they're also on like a little bracket. So we're going to take this out, and I'm going to show you exactly how that works. And you'll see that this is done as 2 plates. Let's take these out. There won't be any extras of this, no. We only sold this as a Cosmos tie-in, so we didn't buy any extras of this for in stock. I apologize. There's less than 5 in the UK. I want to say there might only be a few, and one of them is this one. Yeah, this plate is not supposed to be curved, it's supposed to be flat, but I think it could be that these screws are holding it in at a slightly weird angle and just causing it to bunch up a little bit, but we'll find out in a moment. So that's plate 1 taken out. And you can see here now that we have these plastic connectors, which are made of plastic, but they effectively act as a dampener and a force break between the plate and the case. And they also allow you to adjust the height as well. It's quite a clever implementation. And something like this would be really good for EC conversion kits, because the difference between the top of a plate on the EC conversion and the bottom of the PCB is slightly different measurements to an MX style plate. So that'd be quite good for that as well. Okay, let's take the secondary plate out, and then we can start to get some stabilizers lubed up. This was available before the normal seal group buy, so there will be seal boards, just not the Cosmos edition. There will be normal seal boards after the seal group buy does ship, but there was only a small number for the Cosmos edition. I think we only had like 5 that we were allowed to sell. I'm sure it was a really small number. So there will be extras of the seal, just not extras of this version of the seal. Let's have a look at this plate now. Oh, okay. So I can instantly tell you that the plate is flat, and it's perfectly flat. It was screwed in with it pushed slightly out of spec. So when we screw it back down, we'll be able to screw it back down in the correct spec. Yeah, so it was bunched up. So basically when it was screwed together so that they were slightly pushing it like that, so that then it had that ping to one side like this, whereas it should have been screwed like that, so it just had to flex. Anyway, nice and easily fixed, and it's just going to be a case of how we screw it together. Next job now is to leave that there for reference. Zoom the camera out a touch more just so you can see, and put the board together. No salt, no sauce. Hey man, thanks for being here. Let's open up the bits here. So we have light pipes here as well. These are going to be for the LEDs, which it doesn't come with by standard, so we can put some LEDs in here later. I don't think, unless there's any that come in the pack, there might be some in the pack to put in. I don't know, I'll have a look in a minute. Those are the connectors for the underside, so we'll put them to one side. I'm just going to fit the light pipes into the case. Oh, they actually need to sit on top of the LED. I'm not going to do that because these actually slide onto the LEDs. So I'll leave them to one side. Let's open up the pack. When will the extra Seal 100s be in stock? After the group buy ships. This is for the earlier edition, the Cosmos edition. Oh, so it does come with stabilizers, but we aren't going to use these. I'm going to use some Type Plus stabilizers. I did think it might have come with some LEDs as well, but it doesn't. And I don't have any to put in it, so that's going to have to be a future build for the LEDs. Okay. Let's just snap the PCB off here. just going to take these connectors off. Okay. So you can see how we're going to build this, just like so. Let's get some stabilizers lubed up. Resident Yepper, hey man, good to see you. Jay snapping that PCB gave me anxiety. Do you have any F1 ATEX plates lying around? Maybe, no Saladosos, we might do. Hotspot PCB doesn't have LED support while Solderable has. Gotcha. Making me look like a fool for wet sanding all my snap PCBs. No dude, that's cool man, that's cool. It's cool that you take the time to do that. Right, okay, so let's count up stabilizers. I guess we should build this ISO because we can. So let's count out our stabilizers that we need here. So we need a 2U stabilizer for backspace. We need a 2U stabilizer for ISO enter. We'll need a 2U stabilizer for 0. A 2U stabilizer for the number enter. And a 2U stabilizer for the numpad plus. We'll split left shift. We'll do stepped caps. We'll split right shift. Okay, and then as we have got a wing keyless board, we're going to use a 7U spacebar. Okay, so let's start to put these together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stabilizers today. It's a lot. It's way more than we normally use. I'm going to try and pre-build these as pairs, so we get them correct. All the stabs, absolutely. All the stabilizers. Remember, these stabilizers are handed, so the left hand stabilizer housing will only go on the left hand side, the right hand stabilizer housing will only go on the right hand side because they are mirror images of each other, so we do need to keep them in separate piles like this. And the secret to Type Plus stabilizers is don't lubricate them until after they're assembled.
Tasty, tasty.
Clownfish, thank you so much for the 16 months of subs. I thoroughly appreciate you, man. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 6. Let's try and move these up a little bit so you guys can see them and they don't go off camera.
Tasty, tasty.
Average Joe, thank you so much for the sub, dude. 48 months, that's crazy. 48 months is a huge number. Four years, who'd have thunk it? Okay. I'm not going to use any stabilizer pads here. Probably should, but I'm not, just because it takes time. Right, okay. So let's get these assembled. Now, these stabilizers do take a little bit of getting used to. The way to assemble these is to put the hook of the stabilizer wire into the housing, and then you want to try and catch the underside of the stem. So you want to try and catch it just like that. And then once you've caught it, you pull back to the front and then clip in the front. And that means that you actually end up inside the correct part. Because otherwise these can be a bit of a pain to put together. And as I say, they are handed, so you do have to use the correct side of the stabilizer housing. And then eventually it becomes second nature on how these clip together. But they do take a little bit of practice to get right. And then once they're assembled, we can then lubricate them. And the reason why we lubricate these ones after assembly is because the twist mechanism needed to put them together is so complex. You just want to make sure that you're not scraping off the lube on the housing as you assemble them. You prefer DHL LV? I think cost-wise it's broadly the same for UK customers. And we'll see if it's going to remain on there or not, because it depends entirely on how DHL and UPS's fees change now that de minimis tariffs have been removed and things like that. Unless you're you. Yeah, I mean, it's slightly different for you, Mr. Reed, because different couriers treat Ireland as a different place entirely. Okay, so now we've done that. What we're going to do is we're going to lubricate the wire on the inside by making sure we put a nice amount in there with the brush. And then once we've done that, we're going to come up and around the outside, and we're going to also lubricate down the wire on the outside just here, and then around the front as well. And once we've done that, we're just going to put a very, very light coat on the side of the slider and on the other side as well. Just a really light coat. And then we're going to repeat that on the other side and then across all of the remaining stabilizers. So effectively what we're doing is just using the brush to lubricate the wire inside the stabilizer once it's assembled. Making sure we lubricate all the parts where the plastic touches the wire. And then very, very lightly on the slider rail itself. Remember, you're not trying to gum these up, you just want them to run smoothly. Any tips for cleaning old tub off stabs? Any solution that works? Just soapy water or ultrasonic cleaner? I find that ultrasonic cleaner fluid works just fine for stabs. Technically, it depends on what type of lubricant you've already put on there. If it's something like a PTFE type lubricant or dielectric grease, you should be just fine with soapy water. If you've put something like Crytox on there or XHT BDZ, you'll need an actual solvent designed for them, something like Vertex, which we don't actually sell, but I think some of the UK vendors do. So we're just getting a nice even layer on all the parts of the wire. UPS has been fine for me to Ireland. My only quibble is it does from being in the depot to arriving at my doorstep. No out for delivery alert, but I just assume that it will deliver in the morning after it arrives at Dublin Airport. Fair. Yeah, I don't know about specific times at different airports or anything like that, unfortunately. UPS and DHL's operations are both a bit of a black hole when it comes to it. Once it kind of leaves us, we only get the same updates as customers get. It's not worth lubing the shorter edge of the slider. I find not. I find not. Some people do, but most of the time when you're feeling the keycap move up and down, it's the sides that are going to scrape, because they tend to widen, like stabilizers tend to go like that or like that for some caps, so it tends to be on the sides that you tend to need to feel it. Why did I take these off the mat? I mean, of course you are free to lubricate your stabilizers however you like. This is just the method that's always worked well for me. Bag lube it is. Yeah, the only problem with like bag lube and Type Plus stabilizers is that you end up ripping half the lube off as you assemble the stabilizer. What's happened to the neighbor's house where someone drove into the house? Not much. It's a family that lives there, and I say it's a family with kids, but they're bless me, they are adult children. They're all in their 20s now, or late teens, early 20s. But the parents were back in their original country. They're originally from Africa, and I believe they haven't actually come back yet. So as in terms of repairs on the house, nothing. They have had a surveyor out who has recommended certain actions be taken, I assume under their home insurance, but no work has actually taken place yet. Whether that's just because the parents aren't back yet, or whether it's because it takes time to get people to come in and do it, or whether there's a kind of like a whole who's at fault type thing going on, I don't know. I will have a chat with my neighbor when he comes back from his trip. Eisenheim, hey man, thanks for joining the stream. The house just walked right into the road. Yeah. So the house has like got a little garden in front of it. Not much of one, but maybe 10 feet of garden. So the person who did it kind of like reversed off the road all across their garden. There's no fence there. It's just like an open grassland onto the road. All across the garden, and then into the house and smashed into the wall. Yeah. It's slightly terrifying that someone could be that inattentive to actually do that. Any update on the house you and your wife have been looking at? Resident Yep and no, not yet. Our house officially goes up for sale in a couple of days, and we need to wait for someone to make an offer on that before we can start to move forwards. It looks like the house that we wanted to buy has sold, which is really frustrating and saddening, but we haven't had confirmation of that yet. So until then, we're still somewhat hopeful, but it looks unlikely we're going to get the house we wanted. Which means that what we'll probably do is sell our house, irrespective of whether we have somewhere to move to or not, and then figure out what we're going to do after that. Which is kind of scary because I've never not owned a home, or certainly not for a long time. So, but yeah, we might be in a position where I don't own a home for a little while, and we'll see how that goes. That'll be either interesting or it won't. Okay, time to install the stabilizers now. So I'm just going to install these into the PCB, and then we're going to put them screws on from the back. Any updates about RFC? Last was 4 days ago. What's RFC? What's RFC? I'm missing that acronym. I'm sorry if I'm being slightly dense. Plenty of international kits you can afford. So legally, no one's allowed to spend the night here in this workshop because it is for warehousing use only and like office works and stuff. it is actually illegal for anyone to spend the night here. That being said, I have slept here when I've been working late and just crashed out, so I have technically broken the law. And if you want to report me for that, please feel free. That's fine. I know there are some people out there who would like to get me into trouble for anything they can. So yeah. Request for comments for me. Roll for caffeine. Oh yeah, so roll for caffeine. So what happened was I uploaded Roll for Caffeine episode 17 on Friday, and all of the platforms didn't like some of the text that was in it for some reason, so they all basically shadow banned Roll for Caffeine episode 17. And then on Friday, I usually record 3 episodes, so I have ones to release over the weekend. I record Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and unfortunately, I did not have time to do that, and yeah, so the next episode will be tomorrow when I have a chance to record it. So I'll come into the workshop nice and bright and early, record an episode. That'll be the new episode 17, and then we'll catch up from there. Yeah, so sorry it wasn't around for a couple of days, but yeah. Can you build a home out of keyboards? Well, this is the reason why I'm going to be selling a lot of my personal collection, because I am going to be in the position where when we're buying the house, I'm going to need funds to be able to do the house up or to move the business or whatever else, and I will need capital for that. So yeah, I will be selling my personal collection of keyboards to fund that house move. That's kind of like what we're looking at. Yeah. I'll also be selling a couple of my cars and things like that to fund the house move, and hopefully if we get the house that we want, PT will move to the workshop that's on the grounds of the house that we want. If not, it depends on the house that we buy, but we'll see if we can figure something out. We'll see. Jay, the lawless typist? Sure. On the phone to Bradford Police to speak. Thanks, Mr. Klein. Thanks, Mr. Klein. I mean, no one's ever going to be able to prove that I did sleep here, but apart from the fact that I said it. But yeah. Technically, it is illegal. No one is allowed to spend the overnight period here. Although there's no actual set like curfew. Like if I wanted to work through the night, that's legal. But if I wanted to sleep here, that's not legal. It's not classed as an abode. It is absolutely classed as a workspace. So technically not legal to sleep here. Kind of sounds like roll for caffeine. That's just my Yorkshire accent though, right? Roll for caffeine. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Jay proving that keyboards are an investment. No, I suspect that the boards that I sell from my personal collection, I will get about 25% of what I spent on them back. That is my current guesstimate. That I will maybe get 25% of whatever I spent on the boards back when I sell them. That's kind of like my expectation. You said it for content, still can't prove it. Absolutely. Work time siesta is still work time? Thanks, man. Sucks that you have to sell so much of your collection. Hope it all works out for the best, then build more collections. Thanks, man, I appreciate it. Like, there comes a point in life where you have to realize that you're not the only person to keep happy in a relationship. And my wife has been wanting to move for like 5 or 6 years. And if me downsizing some of my collections of things can help and assist that, it's the time that I just manned up and made that choice, right? So yeah, so at least 2 cars are going to be up for sale very soon. And then, I mean, it doesn't matter if they sell immediately or not, because the funds from those will be used for actually doing up the house that we buy, wherever we buy it or wherever that is. Although we don't want to actually like spend that much more than what our house is worth. We only want to spend maybe 100 grand more than what our current house is worth. On the actual property, and then spend the rest of the money doing it up. But we'd like something that's a project, so it gives us something to do and something to like spend time on, and something to achieve. By the time you get the new place sorted how you want it, she'll want to move again. Maybe. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, though, good sir. Right, okay, so that's our stabilizers all installed. I'm going to get rid of that box of stabs. next job is for you guys to pick some switches. Selling the cars too, just a couple of them. Black American GMC K1500. And which is a 1969 version. And then we'll also be selling the 1974 Datsun 620 as well. I wasn't sleeping, officer. I was going for the world's slowest blink record, 8 hours. Yeah, I don't know who'd actually be the ones to like tell me off for that kind of thing. Like, I don't know where that would actually go to. I assume it'd just be a council that would rap me on the knuckles kind of thing, but well, we'll see. Okay, so now we have this all laid out for ISO. It's time to pick some switches, which means I'm hoping there is a friendly mod around. I think Demotex is around, so I'm hoping he can put up the poll. And here's the choices of switches. First choice is Sonia's with a J. I think there's enough in this bag. I think it's going to be close, but I think there's enough in the bag for it. Pumpkins for that nice clacky sound. Or, and I hope there's enough in here as well, Type R's. Those are the 3 choices for today. Those are the 3 choices. I'll let you guys get a poll up. Konsu. So we don't have enough Konsus left in stock for me to take that many out of stock. I think we've only got a couple of thousand of each left, so I don't want to take too many switches out of our stock reserves. Well, we all know Type R's will win now. I don't know. I think the Pumpkins stand a good chance because they are really clacky. MX Blues, not something we stock, unfortunately. Although we are going to be stocking some more MX switches very, very soon, like some Cherry MX switches. Common Pumpkins, yeah. It's polycarbonate plate. All those options are solid choices. Yeah. We'll see how the vote goes. I do feel like the camera's weirdly zoomed in on me. Let me see if I can't adjust that. Is it? Oh no, it is zoomed out. Okay, maybe it's just the new software we're using that makes it feel a bit weird. Okay. We will be voting on keycaps, yes. Colleen has finished ironing. He's now entering the chat. Camera's normal. Yeah, it just feels like the way I view it on here on the screen. Would you consider a roll for build on stream? Roll for board, solder, hot swap switches, stabs, keycaps, etc. It depends on how granular you want to go. We could do, but the challenge is that I'd have to have like more than one keyboard each week. Like it is a thought that's occurred to me, and it's kind of like, how would we keep it fresh? How would we keep it reasonable? I don't know. Like it's something we can maybe look at. We can look at maybe. I don't know. The Konsus do have a really high pitch clacton. Yes, I do have enough for a 60% board that we will build with at some point. I couldn't justify taking that many out of stock for this particular build though. But yeah, it looks like no one's going for the Sonias. It looks like it's a battle between the Type R's and the Sonias. Very close battle right now. Let's see how that pans out in a minute or two. It's getting closer. Ooh, even now. Even Stevens. I just realised I'm not getting any Twitch notifications, which is weird. Oh man, my emails have gone nuts. I had 0 emails in my inbox. I had some snooze until tomorrow, but I had 0 emails in my inbox to do, and now I've got like 30. Clearly people have been messaging me during the stream. Okay, it looks like Pumpkins are just gonna win. Pumpkins win. Nice. Good choice, guys. Good choice. It's almost Halloween, right? We're only a month and a half away from Halloween, so yeah. Very close. My rigging failed. Fair. Why have I got so many emails? Okay. I don't need to do those right now. 0 emails in an inbox. Haven't seen something like that in years. Yeah, so I do snooze things because I do different processes on the different days. So, for example, things like customer emails where I need to respond like in some support capacity, they all will be snoozed until a Monday morning if they come in over the weekend, purely because I'm going to tackle them first thing Monday morning. Things like supplier emails are generally pushed out to a Tuesday, so they're all snoozed until a Tuesday or a working day where I'm not concentrating on customers. And then there's some other kind of bits and pieces like admin type stuff that I have to do anyway, and that gets snoozed into certain boxes, things like that. So before the stream, I'd kind of like gone through my weekend messages and filtered them all out to the days of the week when I'm actually going to be tackling that stuff. For example, there was some stuff that I needed to do on a spreadsheet for my accountant, and that time is already banked into Wednesday morning. So I snoozed that email until Wednesday morning. So there's quite a few things like that, but there's like been like a load of customers reach out to me during the stream for some reason. I think there's like 15 emails in there now, which is kind of unusual for during the stream, but it is what it is. I'll tackle those in the morning. Okay. Do you Spark on desktop or just mobile? I just use Gmail in the browser on PC when I'm here, and I use Spark on my phone. Yeah, I just use Spark on my phone. I haven't tried the Spark desktop agent, although I am trying a new browser at the moment because I'm such a heavy user of like Perplexity for a million different things and automates a lot of tasks. I'm trying their browser out, which is called Comet. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty good. It has the assistant built into it. Works with pretty much every Chrome add-on that we use as well, such as VPNs and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll be trying that out. It's good. I think I have something like 18,000 unread work emails. Most of them are replying to all on things which don't need to be automated or emails about reports. Yeah, so I have a lot of stuff that goes into folders that are things that I need to keep but maybe don't need any action. For example, gas and electricity bills here at the workshop. They all go into a specific folder, and they also automatically get forwarded on to Sharon, who needs it for a bookkeeping perspective. So I have a load of rules set up to handle a lot of that. So a lot of email stuff these days is just movement of stuff into the right pot so I can find it when it's needed, not because anything action-wise needs doing for it. Anything that does need action stays in my inbox or gets snoozed until the day that I'm going to be doing it. So yeah. Spark desktop app is great. I'll have to have a look at it. I've never tried it. Yeah. You can usually apply the rules retrospectively, Jehovah, as well, to kind of pick that kind of stuff up. Right, okay. Let's get some switches in the board because we are building with pumpkins. I'm going to move the mouse there and just move this over so it's dead centered. I'm just going to find a plate fork as well. Right. Okay. So start in the middle bottom of the plate and get some switches in. Okay, this might hold together nicely actually. Is plate fork the most bizarre term you've had to try to describe to non-keyboard people? No, I think the hardest thing to try and describe to non-keyboard people is probably two things. One thing is, why would people spend so much on a keyboard? That's often a really big question that comes up, and my go-to stock answer for that is, well, it's like a we're splitting that key, aren't we? I did say we'd split that. It's like a handyman using a tool. They're going to buy the best tool for the job, not necessarily the cheapest. And if you're using a keyboard every day, you're going to want a nice tool to do your job with. Simple as that. But probably the hardest one to talk about is when it comes to lubricant. Trying to explain that there are different grades of lubricant that are used for different switches and different parts of the keyboard, and people apply these with small brushes and out of large tubs before they assemble their own keyboard. That becomes a really difficult conversation very, very quickly. It's something that people aren't expecting, and it's really difficult because everyone has in their head, oh, lubricants used either it's a sex thing or it's an engineering thing, and people don't associate it with small electronic devices. So that's usually the most difficult one. Plate fork very rarely comes up unless it's to someone who is keyboard related. So yeah. Added the bowl one to my order. Is any good? I assume better for those who wouldn't use it or easy to forget in the corner. Yeah, so I do have the bowl one here. So the bowl one works slightly similarly, but what you do is you put it in, you squeeze it together, you put it in, tuck it under, so you tuck it under like that, and that holds it at the correct distance. And then what you can do is you can go in all directions around it. So instead of doing like 4 in a row, you can kind of go in all directions around it because this is all being supported by this one. Like so. And then when you remove that one, this one is now supported by the switches surrounding it. So it works quite well for that kind of thing. The reason why you can't use this one on the Manta is because the components are on top of the PCB. So sliding like this would rip the components out. That's why Bowl designed this one. So it kind of lifts the plate up and it's pulling the plate up, but it happens automatically because the width of this foot is exactly the distance between the PCB and the top of the plate. So yeah, I do use both interchangeably depending on what I'm building and how I'm building it. But yeah, it's just useful for going around it instead of in a horizontal line. How about catastrophically buckling springs instead? Explaining aftermarket is wild. Yeah. Ever did a digital declutter? If yes, what surprised you the most? If no, what do you think is the messiest part? I've done digital declutters in small scale stuff, like just getting rid of apps on my phone and things like that. I've never done anything large scale. I suspect that if I really started to delve into it, just the sheer number of subscriptions I have for different tools would be the scary thing. But yeah, it's something I should look into at some point. Tidy out my digital lifestyle. I'm going to split left shift here, just making sure it actually fits. It does. Nice. Does it fit? Yeah. Okay, we're going to go stepped caps, because stepped caps is best. And then, oh, we should do, we're going to go wing keyless here. So we want that one. And that one, I think. Looks right. Looks right. And then that's going to be there. And this one is going to be there. And I think I'm going to check that with some keycaps actually. Let's this is where you see another one of the keycaps we're going to use. Right, let's find a 1.5U keycap and 1U keycap. Well, that's one. 1.5U, that'll do. So that's just making sure I've got the switches in the right spots. And then we just need another 1.5U keycap in. Maybe I can't find one. Come on, keycaps. Give me 1.5U. That'll do. Okay, so we've now got this correct layout here because they all fit nicely. So then what we can do is we can pop those off and then check that it fits at the other side. I suspect actually I have this one in the wrong spot. There we go. Now is this one going to fit in the middle? No. So this is in the wrong spot. And we can now move this over just like so. Pop that down. And we can see that that fits. So now we know that these three are in the correct spot. Pop the keycaps away. Take out the wing keyless switch because we don't need it. And then we're good to carry on. ISO key faces to the east. Cool. If you think about it, once you start getting into custom keyboards, you start to look for the super expensive ones. Yeah, people do tend to escalate in price. We tend to find that people will come and join the hobby and pick up a Zoom, and then 6 months later they're buying, you know, a key cut or whatever. because they get the bug for the hobby. Some people don't. Some people are one and done. Like they'll buy a Zoom or whatever, or a Neo or whatever, and they'll be fine with it, and they're happy with that, and that's them done. That's great. Hopefully they'll come back and buy a key set or two or some desk mats or something like that. But we do tend to see that people scale up quite quickly. It's very much a rabbit hole, in a good way. You don't use flavored Crytox? No. Just the one that gives you that heated sensation. I compare it to cars. Pretty much any car will get from A to B. Some people like to have fancy cars which give you technically no benefit, like a keyboard. Yeah, so one of the things I was talking with Jim K about actually a little while ago was that their keycaps are kind of seen like, you know, one of the premier options on the market right now. And perhaps they'd want to consider doing like a cheaper range. And I likened it to Toyota and Lexus. You know, they could have the general Toyota brand, but then the current CYL keycaps could be the Lexus equivalent. I don't know if Jim K will go for it or not, but it's something that I have suggested. PT times Durex collab. Wrong type of lubricant, I'm afraid. How many Manta PCBs will be broken? People not realizing that, I wonder. I mean, it is in the build guide, so I'd like to think people will realize that and not do it. I confused and worried a few people at work when I said I needed to relube and tune my spacebar when using an old board. I can understand that. My next digital declutter will be when I get the new iPhone next week. Start with a fresh device. I'm so tempted with the new iPhone, but I have a 16 Pro Max. I don't need it. I can't really justify the cost. And I'd only get like 700 quid for mine trade-in. So it's kind of a question, is it worth trading? I don't know. But I do love the color. The orange on the new iPhone is to die for, and it would really, really match my Datsun. So I am very, very tempted. But we'll see. We'll see. Feels so autumn, right? Yeah. Feels like we should almost vote for KKB Pumpkin Spice Latte. Unfortunately, I don't have a set of that. I gave my personal set of that away to someone who didn't get their set because of lube switches in the US. So I don't have a personal set of Pumpkin Spice Latte as a key set. But we will have Pumpkin Spice Latte syrup here at the workshop in a day or two, because I've ordered some from our supplier, so that should be here in a day or two, which is nice because it's one of the few flavors that I do enjoy in a coffee. I'm typically very much a traditionalist. I want an espresso based drink. Maybe on occasion I'll have a pour over, and then if it's a pour over I definitely don't want milk in it, but sometimes that's not what the dice tell us to do. So Mars Cadet on Cosmos Seal. YJ gotta hit me right in the feels. Dude, like, it makes sense, right? Cosmos Seal, Mars Cadet. It feels like it was one of those things that might be. But you guys can vote on it soon. Did you get Cosmos? Did you put it in one of your boxes? I did. Cosmos is in this box right here. Consumerism. Yeah. One and done people. Don't know how people can do that. I think it just depends on different things. I'm sure there's something that you've been a one and done type of person in a hobby with before. I know I'm very much not that person. And there's a couple of hobbies that I'm scared to fall into. One is audio stuff. I know that if I could become a real audio snob if I let myself fall into that. So I don't. But I could feel it happening. VW and Audi, Skoda and Audi. Well, it'd be VW and Porsche, right? Because that's one of the Porsche brands, the VW brands. I have 10 keyboards, Envoy, Kahaku. Nice. Meltrix build guides are a bit oof. They're not the best. I'm on the upgrade plan, so I can just hand it back after 11 of a total of 20 payments and get the latest. Oh, nice. Yeah, I think you have to go into store to sign up for that. And I'm not about going into an Apple store these days, so I'll never get into that. Lubed somehow ruined the stream. No comments. Looking forward to how many orders for the new one come in at work. Probably be a few. Cosmos on black gets exhausting. Yeah. Have you tried an affogato in the workshop? Tried it with sci-fi blend and it's delicious. Yeah, it should work really well with the sci-fi blend because it's got a little bit of an acidic tang to it that that should work quite well with like an ice cream. We haven't done an affogato here, but I have done it at home with the classics blend. So yeah, we don't really have a freezer to keep ice cream in here. We have an ice machine though, so right. Jay, what are those black on black keycaps from? Asking for myself. The black on black keycaps, these ones. These are GMK CYL Cosmos. They are black on black, but they're really black on black. Like that is, what legend is that? Oh, that's the left arrow. So they're really black on black. Also calling me out in terms of customers ramping up. Not you specifically. I found the price of my Neo crazy initially. Jay's dead to me. Wait, what have I done now? Now we've bought £400 plus keyboards. Nice. Hi Jay, I have an interview on Thursday. Any tips or advice you could give? Yeah, stay calm. Interviews are as much about you interviewing the company as it is about the company interviewing you. So bear that in mind. Make sure you know your shit. Like when you go into an interview, you need to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. And whilst it be an uncomfortable and difficult time for everyone involved, you need to make sure that you know what you're talking about. So know what the company's likely to ask. Have a think about what the company's likely to ask you and prepare for that. If you have to do a presentation or anything, make sure you know that inside and out. Make sure you know your talking points. Make sure you've kind of thought through what might be the common questions you're going to get asked and how you'd answer those questions as well. Try to show structure in your language, so show that you are thinking about the problem, how you're going to tackle that problem, what steps you need to put into place to resolve that problem, what opportunities come out of the back of that problem, and then what the upshot or downshot would be. You know, what's the ultimate solution effectively, or how would you get to a solution. Same when you're giving examples, make sure you use something like SMART to give your answers, so you know you're covering all the bases and things like that. So yeah, but just take it steady, don't rush into your answers, take time to think, keep it slow, keep it upbeat, keep it positive, listen, and just be yourself. Everything else about you, if it's not meant to be, they won't offer you the job, and that could be, you know, a good thing or a bad thing, but I try and always look at it as a good thing because it means that at least you've learned from it. The thing about interviews is the more you do, the more better you'll become at them. So you will increase your experience and you will increase your skill at being interviewed the more interviews you go to. So even if you fail an interview and you don't get the role, don't worry about it because there'll be another role out there. And the next time you go for an interview, you'll be a bit better at interviewing. Simple as that. Do your research on the company, the role, and the people interviewing you? Yeah, absolutely. Have a good bunch of questions. Wear fun socks or pants. Remember the interviews are humans. Yeah. Situation, action, outcome, SAO. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Same as the SMART one. I can't remember it, but whatever it is for SMART, I can't remember the words, but it's the same sort of thing. Interviews for a management role where I currently work. At the minute, looking like there will be a presentation and a normal interview Q&A. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So make sure you know your topic when you're giving a presentation. Be prepared to answer questions on the line of what do you think will be the biggest change in your focus as you move to a management role. Situation, task, action, result. Yeah, star is another good one. Yeah. Yeah. Let us know how it goes, Jehovah. Let us know how it goes. Right. Okay. So now we've done that, and we've got the whole board ready. We can now start to do our soldering, and this is a good time for you guys to ask me any questions you'd like to. So we have a lot of soldering to do today, so I imagine this is going to take us 10 or 20 minutes. So if you've got a question you'd like to ask me about any topic at all, just tag me with @jprototypist in chat, ask your question, and we'll give away a desk mat to whoever asks the best question. So whoever asks the best question on stream, I'll ship out a desk mat to. Simple as that. I think I actually have one to send to Telvin, who asked the best question last week on stream. So, which I'll make sure Mel does tomorrow. So if you're watching Telvin, I'm sorry, we'll get it sorted. But yeah, ask your questions. I always lick the interviewer, and I've got every job. That's a different way of getting the job. That's a different way of getting the job. Where have my tools gone? Gonna have to get some more solder soon. First question: is it appropriate to lick the interviewer? It depends on how well you know the interviewer, I guess. I guess it depends on how you're getting that promotion, right, Gemma? If you want your promotion on merit, I suspect not. If you want your promotion based on your willingness to do certain acts, I suspect so. I'm sure many people have been promoted based on how they've licked the interviewer. Okay, I'm just going through each switch now, just checking for bent pins, making sure that we've not got any bent pins and that everything is ready to be soldered. This is just a visual check to make sure that 2 pins are protruding for every single switch point, and as long as there are, we can continue to carry on with our soldering. Okay, everything's looking good so far. Okay, looking good there. I will check that one when it comes time. I feel like I need to turn my VPN off for the stream. It's a power move. I think I can think of some better power moves. I forgot to say happy birthday to Gemma. When she's here, it's the opportunity to do it now. Nice. 4 MX blacks and double it. Or double it and give it to the next person. Double it and give it to the next person. I have many MX blacks. This is a bit quirky, but maybe it wins it for me this week. What are in the boxes that are stuffed at the bottom of the stairs up to the mez level? They're always in your Insta stories, and I'm desperate to know what they contain. Do you mean the boxes that are... So, basically, I'm going to have to ask you some questions here. Do you mean the boxes that are yellow? The ones that are literally to the side of the staircase? Behind the rail? Is that the ones you mean? Let me know in chat if that's the ones you mean. I'll come back to that. I made a typo earlier. I think you missed it. Oh, did you make a typo? Oh, best of lick. Oh, I see. Instead of look. Oh, I see. 3D Keycap says, what projects do you hope to achieve through Prototypist? Can be 1 to 5 to 10 years. Within the next 1 year, I want to finalize the JO1s, JO3s, and Midnight Rainbow Round 2. Those are kind of like the big projects for the next year for PT in-house stuff. For the next 5 years, I guess the real task is just survive. The hobby, as most people are aware, is in a bit of a declination at the moment. It's declining everywhere. So for us, it's really just a case of 5 years, survive through that if we can. I don't want to run a business that is not helping people. I don't want us to be here just for the sake of being here. So when it comes to a point where we're not helping people anymore and we're not providing value to the community, then we'll just probably shut down and finalize any outstanding orders and then close up shop. So yeah, it's all about what value are we adding to the community, if any, and I feel like we are at the moment, but that may or may not change over time. 10 years, I'd be surprised if many of the current vendors are around in 10 years time. I think the landscape will be so vastly changed. I mean, if you think back 10 years ago from now, the first group buys were just about happening really in the Western market. Keyboards have been a little bit around in Korea as in customs. Drop was just getting started. You know, the kind of like whole landscape has changed since then. It's such a different place now. I can't imagine it'll be anywhere near the same in 10 years time. And I think it's becoming so much more mainstream in terms of what the mainstream communities offer and mainstream keyboard companies offer, like Corsair and Razer and things, that hobbyists are just going to struggle to keep up, and it'll become very much a niche industry again, like it used to be. So yeah, I think that's going to be pretty much it. Brown envelope is a nice idea as well. Wait, what? With pound notes in? Yeah, you feel free to send me an envelope with money in. I'm happy with that. I'm always happy with people sending me cash. That's fine. You mean the boxes that are a fire risk? They're not on the staircase. They're at the side of the staircase. The stuff that's in those is old pottery. It's like bazooka. It's my mum passed away a few years ago, and what's in those is her old crockery sets. That's all it is. It's just crockery, like stuff that came from my grandma's house that was like old when my grandma was young. So it's like plates and tea services and things like that. That's all it is. Do Jay's crisp, clacky keyboards continually confuse curious customers craving quiet keys? I don't know if they confuse customers. I think people know that clacky exist. When you sit down in the interview, do the right. Jay, how many boards do you own and what percentage is vintage? Probably about 400 at the most. I would have owned. I think that's dropped somewhat now, so I'm going to guess somewhere in the region of 300. Maybe around a third of them are vintage boards. Maybe slightly less. Maybe 25% actually are vintage boards. But there's a lot of vintage boards that are, whilst not used, are like on a desk, as in typed on, are used for inspiration and, you know, all that kind of jazz. So, yeah, there's quite a few keyboards in the workshop that aren't actually on sale at the moment. I've been told that the presentation topic will what are the key factors you feel are important for employee engagement, and then I have part of my presentation done, but just find myself procrastinating now. Nice. Well, we'll build up your points because that's going to depend on your industry and the company that you work for. But make sure you're covering points that they won't have thought of. Maybe try and have a think and come up with something maybe a little bit left field that shows that you've actually thought about it. Make sure you've got a good argument for why that's come up, rather than just having it as a point. You know, I mean, key things there for employee engagement: remuneration, bonus schemes. They're all going to be high up there. But you know, feel good factors are good things. Like there's always soft benefits as well as, you know, tangible benefits to any kind of role. So maybe think about that kind of stuff as well. I don't know what industry or sector you're in, but I'd start in that kind of space. What hybrid physical layout do you dislike more, Ansiso or Isansi? Ugh, I don't even know what the difference is. Depleted Vespine. I don't know what the difference between the two is. I really solved that badly. Why is oh Jesus! No wonder it's making brown marks. My soldering iron is set to 400 degrees. I thought the solder was flowing a bit too quick. And I could smell the flux burning. That'll be why. That's because I was desoldering. There, that's better. I was desoldering a graphics card earlier on in the week to fix for a friend. That's much better. Hopefully PT will still be around in 10 years. Maybe. A lot of vendors went bust over the last few years. Yeah, far too many, because most of them owed me money in some way or form. It's been a frustrating few years, both as a customer and a vendor from that perspective. Okay, this is better. The salt is actually feeling like it's sticking now. There we go. I did wonder why it was handling badly. Like, this seems to be really, really weird. When did customs hit the East, and how long was Europe using them before? First was OTD, right? Yeah, so I think it depends on where you want to start. But OTD was one of the first. There was the DK Saber was technically the first custom keyboard, or most people perceive that as being the first custom keyboard. I think that was 2007 or 2008. OTD were a little bit later, around 2009 to 2012, something like that. But they were all kind of like based in Korea, and that was kind of where the hobby was. The vintage kind of stuff was always around in the Western world at that point. In terms of when did it pick up in China, I think it would have been around 2013 to 2017 was when it started to pick up in China, which kind of mirrored the Western approach, like when you know the US and the EU kind of picked up on it a little bit, and then COVID was massive for the Western side of the world, not so much China. China's grew a lot quicker than the rest of the world pre-COVID, based on my limited knowledge of the
Incredible
Chinese vendor scene. Thank you so much, Gmar, for the follow. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's all been interesting to watch it happen. 10 years charity shops will be full of QWERTY keys, keyboards, clueless. I don't think so. There's not that many in the UK. If you give them £1 million with a clause that you had to use it all within 24 hours, what would you spend it on? I'd just give it to charity. I'd just give it to charity. Can I do the Riker maneuver? No, I'm too short for that. I'm only 5'5". I am not a tall man. I'd need a very, very small chair to be able to do the Riker maneuver. Do you know I once got declined from a job because of my height as well? The hiring manager said that he did not like that I was shorter than him, and therefore he refused to give me the role. I'm not sure how that would go about these days, but that was a thing back 20 years ago. That was not what I was expecting the answer to be. Thanks for clearing that up. I hope one day the set migration home. What did you think the answer was going to be, Bazooka? What did you think was going to be in those boxes? What did you think was going to be in them? I'll tell you the reason why they're here. Because my mum died just before I set up Prototypist. So my mum died in March 2019. And Prototypist started in November 2019. But the executor for my mum's will didn't manage to sell my mum's house until 2021. So at this point until 2020, sorry, 2 years later. 2021, 2 years later, yeah, 2021. So at this point, so I think it was March 2021 when my mum's house sold. So at this point we were in the old PT workshop, and basically we got told by my mum's will's executor that we had like maybe 10 days to move everything out of the house before it was sold. And so my brother just packed everything up and we moved it to the old workshop because we had nowhere else to move everything to. And then he kind of came and took some stuff that he wanted to keep and stuff over time, and we moved some stuff around, and I had some stuff at home, a lot of stuff we got rid of, and then there was a few bits and pieces just left lying around that we didn't find a home for and have just stayed here at the workshop. There's just 3 boxes left now. But yeah, that's where they're from. And there is an old desk of my mum's as well. But yeah, that's why it's here. Did Hex's auction go well? Yeah, I still need to bill MK UK actually for the shipping costs of everything, because I think that was about, I don't know, I want to say 500 quid or something to ship everything out. I think maybe. So I do need to actually do that. So thank you for the reminder, because I'll get that done this week. Any place you're planning to go in the world, or dream place you'd like to visit? We have no plans for holidays at the moment, purely because moving house is kind of like our #1 priority. I have to sign all the documents tomorrow to put our house up for sale, which is kind of scary. I did a lot of it on Friday, but the actual final signing to say it goes up for sale happens tomorrow. So kind of like everything's focused on us moving house now. After that, there's a few places both me and my wife have always wanted to go. We both want to go back to Florida and take my my niece at some point and take her to Disney and do the whole Disney thing together. That's absolutely on the list of things to do at some point. I do want to visit Vietnam. That's kind of high up on my bucket list of places to go, and so is Japan as well. So we'll see if we get to do those. I know my wife's keen on going back to Mauritius at some point, and she wants to do the Maldives again. And at some point, I'd like to think that I'll get to go back to Copenhagen, because I love Copenhagen. It's one of my favourite places in the world, and I wish I could be there every 6 weeks or so, because I just love it. But yeah, we'll see. If you had to invent a new bank holiday, when would it be? What would you call it? And what new tradition would you want to start for the UK? That's a really good question. I'd call it Giving Day, and it'd be a day to do things for charity, to like raise money for charity. Everyone would get the day off, but you have to go and raise money for charity. Call it Giving Day, and you can raise money, give time to charities and stuff like that. Put on events for them, help them market, look after people, all that kind of stuff. That's what I think we should do. When would it be in the year? I don't know. Furthest away from all the other bank holidays, whatever the biggest gap between bank holidays is right now, that's when we should do it. It might be like October time, right? Because August to Christmas, I think we don't have any bank holidays, so maybe that's when we should do it. Yeah, but that's what I'd like to do with it, if we could do something like that. Alvi says, do you believe that PT vendors in general have to evolve in the future with optical HE inductive TMR becoming trendy with gamers, or will an old charm of keyboards like we have now exist, much like our beloved watches? I think that if vendors aren't already looking at some of the new options, like we already have HE boards on the store, we are looking at electrocapacitive stuff quite a lot. We've been doing stuff for that for over a year now, with the EC stuff from KLC and Densys. We've got Dynacap coming very, very soon. We've already run a couple of keyboards with Dynacap options. The JO1 and JO3 are going to have Dynacap options. I think that we have to look at it. There'll always be the whole kind of old MX style stuff. I don't think that's going anywhere. For most people, it's perfectly fine. But I think that vendors absolutely have to be facing into those new options for input, and yeah, if you're not kind of thinking about them, you're probably a little bit behind. I don't think there's any vendor that isn't thinking about that, though. You know, as soon as you start speaking to manufacturers, they're all about that kind of stuff. Unsplit left shift and vertical ISO enter. iSense's split left shift horizontal. I think split left shift with anti-enter is fine. ISO with full left shift is bad. Rue with the I see the Rue with the politics thing. So let me finish soldering this row, and then we'll have a look at Rue's question. I think Gemma's so far about the bank holiday is the best one. Let me finish this row though, and then we'll take a look. Okay, so Rue says, considering how UK politics and the economy have been developing, do you consider the UK a client state or a junior partner in empire to the US as a hegemon empire? Are we experiencing some kind of reverse colonization? And how do you feel about this as a British citizen? Okay, let's flick over the cameras here. I don't think I'm qualified enough to answer that question. I think, are we a junior partner in empire to the US?
Tasty.
Skimson, thank you so much for the sub. I think there are a lot of parallels between the far right in the US and the UK right now. I think the marches that we can show that, and the way that Charlie Kirk's death has been portrayed in the media shows that there is an ulterior motive of the media and the ruling parties on both sides of the pond. I think killing of anyone for any political purpose is wrong and absolutely abhorrent. How do I feel about it? I am terrified that we are pushing ever closer to, I'm not going to say civil war because I don't want to be as, pessimistic as that, but I think we're pushing towards more and more violent clashes, and I don't like that. I don't like it. There is a big part of me which is very much in the camp of live and let live. Like, why do we need to persecute against people for different things? Like people should just be allowed to be themselves. So yeah, but to how do I feel about it? I'm worried. I'm terrified, and I don't think that enough people are worried about it. That's what I think. So yeah, I hope that's enough. I don't want to get too political on stream, Rube, but that's my belief there. I think I'm worried about it, and I think that more people need to be worried about it. Can't see me ever going back to a Corsair keyboard. That's fair. That's fair. Can you explain to me why there are so many custom 65 when 60s exist? I can absolutely tell you the reason for that, because whilst there are enlightened people like yourself that like 60% and can cope with a 60%, many people cannot make the jump to a 60% because they need the arrow keys. A 65% gives them those arrow keys, and therefore they prefer that. A lot of people, when they first move to a 60, will build a version of a 60% that has arrow keys on it and ruins the stagger, or the standardized stagger, of the rows. So the ultimate reason why 65% is popular, people like arrows. People like dedicated arrows. Okay, last switch, and then we'll do a quick fire through the rest of your questions. Oh, we've got the other board to do, yeah. We've only done one board. We've got the other board to do. Feels so cheap now. Fair. Right, let me just do a quick visual check to see if we've got any bent pins on this one. No, looks good. Okay, let's crack on with soldering. Jay, after you assemble everything, could you please check on VIA if there's any options to split the numpad keys? I think there isn't a JSON file for the international group buy because the China group buy didn't have the numpad split key support. And so I know there is an updated JSON file coming. I don't think it's been published yet, but that will enable the split keys on the solder version. I don't know if it's been published yet or not. I will reach out to ClickClack and find out, but it should be ready for when the actual the solder boards of the full group buy ship. I'm not sure we'll have time at the end of this because we've still got a long way to go in the build to start to look at VIA today, because I do kind of have like an 11 PM cut-off time really. Who was before OTD again? I think the first one was the DK Saver, Delta Kilo Saver. I need to get some MX Blacks at some point. We're going to have the unlubed MX Blacks and the lubed MX Blacks back in stock soon. I'm just waiting on them arriving. I should add them to the coming soon list as well, like Gateron Type Rs and lanes and things like that. Okay, wanted to build mine this weekend, but had to hold because of that. That's fair. So what year was the first custom board offered to the Americas? I want to say the first custom keyboards in the US were probably around 2013, 2014, maybe a little bit before that. There were some people in the US that were into the custom keyboard scene and did get OTDs from OTD at the time. So they would have been a little bit earlier, but the actual hobby took off with, I think the first US designed keyboard would have probably been around the same time as the SA Calm Depths group buy, which would probably been around 2012 for the first run. So yeah, I guess that's the kind of area you're looking at. I thought the boxes might contain some random keyboard parts that have been long forgotten. No, nothing keyboard related, sadly. There's lots of keyboard related stuff here though. 20 years ago, I had a boss that wouldn't hire any women engineers because they would distract us. Wow. Wow. I once had a boss as well. This was when I first started working in banking and financial institutions, and he was a C word. He was absolutely a C word. He used to do this thing where he didn't like unlucky people. So whenever we were hiring for a new role in the team, he would get the CVs all stacked up, and he would go one in one pile, not read them, not check anything about them. He'd go into one pile, into a second pile, into one pile, into a second pile, and one of those piles would go in the bin, and he would always say, "I don't employ unlucky people," and that pile was the unlucky people. Yeah, that's how bad I've seen things. Like, just so I learned a lot from that guy on what not to do when running a business and running teams. Someone brought him up to me. Someone who knows both of us in real life brought him up to me the other day, and we were both absolutely not very nice about him. But yeah, kind of crazy. You got the seal. What GMK should you put on it? In brown. What about GMK June or GMK Chocolatier? Those would both be really good options. Maybe even DCS Cafe if you wanted a cafe set. Or get MT New Copper, because that'll be in stock in just a few days' time. Jay, are there any keycap sets of boards that you didn't buy but looking back you wish you'd purchased at the time? Yeah, lots. There's been a few Matrix boards I wish I'd bought at the time when I had the opportunity to, before they became as big and popular as they are. There's a few key sets I've missed out on over the years. Like, I really like black and gold, but I just can't afford it at the moment. I have no money to buy key sets with right now. But I think black and gold is vastly underrated at the moment, but I can't afford to buy it, so I'm not buying it. But there's always new products coming along, so even though I regret some keyboard that I've missed out on, there's always something new to take that temptation away. So I do remember there was the CA66 group buy back in 2015, I think, and I did get one, and I sold it in 2017, 2018, or I traded it actually, and I wish I hadn't, because I really missed that keyboard. What's the most underrated little pleasure in life? Tin roofs. Tin roofs when it's raining. If you followed my Insta stories, you might have heard this in the past couple of days a few times. We've had some big storms here in the UK, and the tin roof here at the workshop, or the metal roof here at the workshop, just sounds so good when the rain comes down. It's kind of thundering, but you get the pitter patter on the tin roof. It's because the whole building's like a steel roof. It just sounds so loud, and it crashes down, and it echoes and reverberates around the building. It's such a lovely sound. It's probably my biggest little pleasure in life, just listening to that. The other one is good coffee on a hillside, watching the sunrise. That's also one of my favourite things, little pleasures. Okay. Soldering done. How'd you desolder with the pump? I did my first experience yesterday. It was a nightmare for me. Heat it up, suck it out. Just take it slow. Is Maldives one of the places that's sinking? I think so. I'm not sure. Came back from Denmark. Copenhagen is yeah. It's one of my favourite places in the world. I love it. I'd like to go to Japan next year. I think you have to invent it. I'm not generous. I'm a very, very selfish person. I'm not generous at all.
Incredible.
Skimson, thank you again for the 29 months. And Zioms, thank you for the follow as well. With our last work photo, our boss got us to bring our partners to help even out the split so she wasn't seen to be hiring only males. Fair enough. Reverse colonization is an accurate description of what is happening. Maybe. If you could master any skill, what would it be and why? Any skill? I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Any skill. What would I like to be able to do that I can't do? What would I like to be able to do that I can't do? I'd like to be able to paint, because I am not an artistic person, and I struggle with creativity. But I'd love to be able to paint like really, really well, but I can't. I'm terrible. So yeah, that'd be probably it. The dehumanization of people is hard to put back in the box once you let it out. When you're akin to anyone with an idea that you dislike, and other than it becomes, yeah, I don't want to talk about that. That's a sad type of thing. Don't know how liberating independent arrow keys were when they were first established. Now get off my lawn. Fair enough. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received? Don't give up. Whatever you're doing in life, don't give up. Yeah, there's got to keep going. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep going. There's no way that you can put a pause in life. You can't stop life. You can put a pause on decisions. You can put a pause on aspects, but you can't ever just stop life. You know, we don't have Bernard's watch to click and just stop time and just give yourself time to breathe and think about it. So you've got to keep going, one foot in front of the other. Even when things are going bad, just keep going. That's all you can do. Keep going, because the pace of life won't ever change. Like, life is continuous and it is going to keep on going, and time is going to plod along. You have to keep up with it. You have to. Just keep going. Just keep going. Why is the best keyboard ever made called Geon Frog? It's a good board. I won't say it was the best ever made, but it's a good board. Are there any keycaps or keys that you wish you bought more as they were hot sellers? Yeah, quite a few. We've had a few GMK sets like High-Vis that sold terribly in group buy, barely scraped through, and then we put them in stock and it sells out in 10 minutes. And like, we should have ordered extra, like more extras of that, absolutely. But you know, it's the flip side is rather than that, there is stuff that I've invested in that hasn't done well that I regret more than not buying extras of something. Like, because you can never judge how well something's going to do. Not buying enough of something is the good problem to have. Oh, I should have bought more of that. That's the good problem to have. Having bought too much of something is the worst side of that problem to have, and that happens more often. Turns out they were lucky people after all. Maybe, yeah. Some people aren't up to it. Terrible, yeah. Women engineers are distracting. Imagine being the type of dummy that can trust their employees with work that can impact the safety of hundreds or thousands of lives, but can't trust their employees to keep their eyes and hands themselves. That's crazy work. Yeah. If you could relive one day in your life, which would it be? Oh man, there's a few that jump to mind instantly. My wedding day, for one. The first day I opened the workshop for PT. Would be another. Oh, hold on. My monitor wants to do some calibration. I'm just going to stop that. There we go. What other days? Like those two would be up there for me. The day I left school. The day I left school would absolutely be up there. Like high school, that would be up there. There's a couple of days with a couple of people I'd like to relive again. Yeah. But I don't know if I could pick one. Tin roofs terrify me. Latin American is all tin roofs, and during big storms things get loud real fast. Yeah, okay, I get that if it's something you have constantly, it's maybe not that nice. But I do like it here. Windbreaker runs on the 10th of October. Would you say the UK is more united or divided nowadays? I think we're united in our division. I think that's one thing I can say. Not overthinking things for me is a skill I need to master. So that's a good idea. Yeah. So skills I'd like to master is to be more in control of my ADHD. That would be something. What material is the PC hoodie inside? It's just material. Hold on. I don't want to show you my stomach. It's just material. Hold on. There you go. It's soft material. That's the inside. That's the outside. There's two types. There's these hoodies. I'm not sure if these are in stock or not. But then there's also the Sherpa hoodies, which are kind of like woolen on the inside. I would like to learn to fly, but only ever had one lesson. One of my friends in college learned how to fly. He was called Dave. He was a really nice guy, and he had a brain tumor. I can't remember what type, and I haven't spoken to him in 20 years. But he was called Dave. He lived in Horsforth in Leeds, and I remember meeting a girl called Claire at a house party of his once, and I remember walking to, this is the bizarrest thing, I've not thought about this in 25 years, but I remember walking to a Chinese takeaway, and someone spilt special fried rice all over the floor. But I remember being sat in his living room eating special fried rice out of the tray, and there was a girl called Claire. I remember her. Anyway, that's a long time ago. That's a long time ago. But anyway, sorry, back to the story. Yeah, he had a brain tumor, and he couldn't get a driver's license. The DVLA would not give him a driver's license here in the UK, so he learned to fly a plane instead, and now he's a pilot. So yeah. What's more brutal, the price of a pint in London or the northern weather? Northern weather's fine. Like, I'm comfortable with that. Pint in London, that can be expensive. I think last time I was in London, I had a pint of Guinness, and I think it was 30 quid for 3 pints. That's expensive. It's like double the price. I do not own a modern Dasher D60, no. High-Vis. Yeah, I hope High-Vis gets a rerun autonomy. Yeah. I regret not buying Hanok. Hanok's a great set as well. Smell said a lot there. Okay. You wonder whether it'd get spicy? Fair enough. Can't drive a car, but a plane? Yeah, sure. Yeah, serious. What happened with Claire? So, at that point, nothing. Claire and I then went to college together. I think we're still friends on Facebook, I think. I haven't thought about Claire in a long time. We went to college together. So this would have been like 2002, maybe 2001 to 2003. But like when the story happened, I'm going to start putting the board back together while I tell this bit. So we were at college together. We went to Notre Dame Sixth Form College in Leeds, and I do remember very distinctly that I had a Nokia 3310 at the time. And memes didn't really exist, but like kind of like prototypes of memes did, because it was the old black and green kind of like LCD displays. And one of the things that people did used to send back then quite commonly was pictures of like dot matrix style pictures of different characters. So one of them was Bart Simpson, and she sent me this one of Bart Simpson, and it kind of showed up on my screen as Bart Simpson, and underneath like on his skateboard, like jumping over something. It was like just black and green, and then underneath it said the word "fuck me." It was only maybe 10 years later when I got that phone out again, and I was sorting through stuff, and I turned it on just to see what was on there, and I saw that message, that I realized that there was actually 2 pages to that GIF. And instead of it just saying F me, it said F me please tonight. And the please tonight was on the second part of this image, and I'd never noticed it before when I was in college, and I had completely missed that she'd asked. Basically, it was like, oh yeah, she that's a missed opportunity, Jay. Well done. It was literally 10 years later. It would have been like 2010 when I finally saw this other half of it. I've never spoken to her about it since, because I don't think we've actually spoken since college. I'm sure we spoke after she sent that message, but nothing ever happened between us, and I think that was absolutely a missed opportunity from my perspective. And this poor girl never got a response. Like, I never responded to it. Like, I remember distinctly that there was never any response to it, and we never text again. That was literally the last text message I ever got off of her. So maybe we didn't talk again after that. Maybe I just absolutely messed that one up. Maybe I'm misremembering and we didn't speak much after that. Maybe that was kind of like she didn't get the answer she wanted off me, or she thought I wasn't interested, and I absolutely would have been at the time. So yeah, maybe that's that. I can't really remember now, it's so long ago, but maybe we didn't talk again after that. Maybe that was the end, and she thought I wasn't interested or whatever, and Jay did a big boo-boo. Who knows? It's so long. I mean, it is 25 years ago now. Who knows? I do know that at that time I might have been with someone else anyway, so it probably wouldn't have happened. But I was in and out of a few relationships at that point. So yeah, but that was a thing. Why we're not writing about £10 for a pint? Yeah, it's getting up there in price these days. Would you rather only have Marmite sandwiches for lunch or have beans on toast for every meal for the rest of your life? That's the wrong screw, Jay. That is not screwing in. Why is that not screwing in? Is that the wrong screw? Yeah, it's the wrong screw. Sorry, Marmite sandwiches for lunch or have beans on toast for every meal for the rest of your life? Marmite sandwiches for lunch. I do like beans on toast, but Marmite sandwiches for lunch. I quite like Marmite. I'm hurting for 2010, Jay. Like there was a serious, like, gut-wrenching reading this text message, like, oh my god, type moment. Like I just because I remembered, like, her as soon as I saw her name and I was scrolling through this phone. I remembered her very fondly, very fondly, and I remember seeing this message and I remember her sending me that. Yeah, it affected me. Like it stuck in my mind for whatever reason. And then the second part of it popped up, and I remember my heart just sank. I was like, oh no. Like, it was instant recognition what I'd done. It's kind of crazy. Now the question is if you had a time machine. That's not what I would go back to. She thought she got rejected. Yeah. 2010 Jay is fine. 2010 Claire may not be. Yeah. It was Claire. It was C-L-A-R-E was the Claire, not with an I. No I in it. I remember that. I can't remember her surname, though. I do not remember her surname. I hope she's doing well anyway. I hope wherever she is, she's doing really, really well, and she's happy and she's comfortable and all of that kind of stuff. Right. Okay. Let's get this cable in place. I'm not a huge fan of ribbon cables, but we're going to go for it. Is that right? That doesn't feel right. Kind of feels like it's stuck out too much. Must be right. We'll go with it. We can always change it if needs be. This is hilarious. Thanks for laughing at me, dude. I appreciate that. What's the most underrated fast food item? Underrated fast food? Probably shawarma. Screwdriver matches the case and PCB cover. Yeah, maybe a little bit. I may lay claim to best question now by asking, but what happened with Claire? Nothing happened with Claire, sadly. I don't think that's the best question because it's quite painful to talk about in some ways. I prefer the ribbon cable over JST. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's a little bit raised, a little bit bumpy, but it's fine. Maybe you would have ended up meeting and being with your wife. Maybe. I don't think that. I am 99% certain that if anything had ever happened between Claire and I, it would not have been long term. It would have been a college kind of thing, and that would have been it. It wouldn't have been anything more than that, I don't think. So I'm just going to connect the JST connector in, or I think I am. Wants to go. Come on. Why does that not want to go in? Hold on. That does not want to go in. I don't want to bend the pin on it, so let's just double check it. I do hate it when JST cables are this short and you can't really get them to connect. It's better the other way. Sorry, this is off screen, guys. Hold on, that just does not want to go in. I'm going to do this slightly differently. I'm actually going to pop out this this PCB because that does not want to go in. I think there might be an issue with the JST connector here. Let's undo this ribbon cable first. Come on. I just want to check the JST pins aren't bent. It kind of feels like it's tight to push in, so I just want to double check that that's not the case. Okay, everything looks good. I do really detest it when they make them this short though. It just does not want to go in. Oh, actually, yeah, one of the pins is slightly bent. Let me grab a flathead screwdriver. There we go, that works now. Okay. Did a day went out for the open day for all to see. Public announcements coming probably in a couple of days, Alvi. Sorry, I know I said I'd message you today and I haven't. So I am sorry about that. I didn't get a chance to do all of the work on it I wanted to do today. I'll message you as soon as I can though, dude. I promise. I don't know if is the honest answer. I haven't gone through the data yet, but as soon as I can, I will do. Okay, right. I think this time it is going to work. Let's get the ribbon cable back in place. There we go. Okay, ribbon cable in. Let's try again with the JST. Sorry, I know I'm doing this off camera, or kind of off camera. There we go, that is now in place. let's get the casebook back together. Any boards you'd be interested to see being brought to the open day? Anything that people want to bring, you know. Obviously, I prefer boards that you bought from us, but you can bring anything you like. I think we're going to try and limit it to one board per person because we don't have too much space for it. Yeah, if you want to bring a board, you bring a board along. Every time I close a case, I worry I've scratched it too. Yeah, it just needs a JST cable to be like 2 centimeters longer and it'd be fine. Okay. I am conscious I'm not going to have time to actually test the PCB and make sure everything works because we are running out of time. It's been nearly 3 hours of streaming already, and I try and finish the stream for 11 PM, and it's like 5 to 11 now. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to finish screwing this together. We'll put up a poll if one of the mods is available. If a mod can just drop a wave in chat to let me know that they're here. And then I'll put a poll for keycaps, and then we'll pop some keycaps on the board depending on what you pick. And then we'll go from there. Warhammer Edition JO2. I want to see that, dude. I definitely want to see that. Mr. Jelly's here. Thank you. Right. Okay. There we go, guys. That is the board all soldered and put together and assembled. It's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that so far. Let's get some keycaps picked out for it. So you have a few choices today. The poll is for GMK Mars Cadet. That's the first option. The second option is GMK Nightshade. You can see the theme I went here, night and space. The third option is GMK Tribal. And then, of course, we have GMK Cosmos. And then finally, we have Midnight Rainbow. So that's Midnight Rainbow, Cosmos, Tribal, Nightshade, or Mars Cadet. Those are the choices today. Let's lay them here so you guys can kind of see them. The choices are here. Kind of see them. Oh yeah, I forgot that your Mars Cadet set went to the next town over and then we never got it back. Cosmos is an option, yeah. Let's put my screwdrivers back where you guys vote. I mean, just remember that I do have to be back here at the workshop for like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And I do have to drive home and all of that kind of good stuff. It'd be on some sort of Razor e-waste, but yeah, I don't think we ever got that back. Yeah, pretty sure we never got it back. Tribal never wins though. Tribal's a great set. But it's going to be Cosmos or Midnight Rainbow, I'd guess. You guys have been dredging up my memories tonight, though. Claire. I hadn't thought of her in years. I may just drop her a message just to see how she's doing. I think she's still on my Facebook. Let me see if I can find her. I can't remember her surname. I can picture it in my head, but I can't remember her surname. Yeah, I don't think she is on my Facebook anymore. Yeah, I cannot find her at all. So maybe she's not. Maybe she's not. I'm not in touch with anyone I went to college with either. So yeah, wherever she is, I hope she's doing well. I hope she's doing well. Tribal was winning. It is great. Do it on the live stream. What, Messenger? Yeah, I mean, I am married now. It wouldn't be a message like that, but I thought she was still on there. She isn't. She isn't. I'm sure I met. Do you know what? I'm sure I did speak to her a little while ago, like maybe 5 years ago. Maybe that was in. I'm sure I did. Yes, I have found her. She is still on my Facebook. I don't know why it was saying that she wasn't. She still looks good. She still looks good. There we go. Everyone spare a thought for Jay's home time. Well, Cosmos won, so we're going to do it. Her profile picture is Bart Simpson. Can you imagine? Everyone's slapping Jay in the face that doesn't pick Midnight Rainbow. It's alright, Midnight Rainbow might win next week. I'm down 15k points trying to push for tribal. Okay, well let's get Cosmos done. Because it's going to take some time, so let's get Cosmos done. I am glad that I found her on Facebook. I know she's doing okay. Maybe I'll have to ask her how Dave's going. Maybe that's a good icebreaker. Because like I knew Dave through her, if I remember rightly. Maybe that's a good icebreaker, a good choice for an icebreaker. Right. Let's zoom in a little bit. I can't zoom in too much because we'll lose the board. And let's get some keycaps on here. This is going to take some time. Cosmos is so boring. Ah, well, it's a nice set. It's a nice set. Well, we don't need the short space bars, so that's easy to count those out. That's an ANSI enter. I wanted to make sure it wasn't a shift. I forgot that we had the BAE. We could have done that, but we went ISO. So that's an enter as well. That is definitely the enter for the numpad. Don't need that. That's numpad 0. I might need that as an end key. That's an international key that I don't need. Numlock because it's pad printed and also has the LED shine through key. Don't have an LED for that, so I'm not going to use that one. I'll use the standard one. Right, that's a K. I'm dead certain that's K. That's an R. That is that shift. This is a 2, but I can't tell what 2 it is. That's a 6, I think. Yeah. That's an L. That's a J. I'm going scooped because I'm not faffing around looking for it. That's an 8. That's a W. That's escape. That's a hash tilde. That's a stepped caps lock, but I don't want the shine through one. I want the other one, so I'm just going to put that to one side. That's a 7U space bar. That's a U. That's a 7. That's Z. Pretty sure that was number 2. Yeah, it was the number 2 for up here, but it wasn't the UK ISO one. That's a super key. We don't need that. That's an up arrow. That's the ISO enter. That's a T. Don't need a full-size shift. That's the other ISO enter. I don't know why there's two ISO enters, but there is. Don't need that shift. Don't need that shift. Control. That's the cherry logo. I am going to put that on, but I'm going to put it up here. Don't need any. Oh, we need a 1.25 shift actually. It's not that. That's control. That's R4 pipe. Nice. That's F. That's plus equals. That's M. Left arrow. Punctuation key. Punctuation key. Oh, that's M mu, but I've already got the M on the board. Let's scroll up, which we don't need the shine through for. That's the 5. That's the wrong 7. It's from the international kit. That's G. Numpad plus. Let's catch it with chat. Cosmos is a nice set to be sure. I've already seen a build with it on with my Cosmos seal. Nice. I'm going to get something to eat back in 45 minutes to see the keycaps half done. Probably. International kit is in here, yeah. From a distance they all look like black keycaps. Yeah, they do have legends on them. Got rid of all my GMK boxes, had no choice. Yeah, same here. Do you start group buys manually or set them automatically? Do you have any particular time to start them? Any reasons why you choose those times? Yeah, it depends on the group buy. Most of them we set to run automatically, and they usually start at 9 AM. That's just because then we can guarantee people are available if anything goes wrong. And we need to step in. Like, we don't want to set them to go live at like midnight when everyone's in bed, because then if something goes wrong, we're not here to fix it. That's for the numpad. Can't remember which way around we're going to do the numpad, so we'll put that to one side. We do need that. Wait. We don't need that. That's the wrong row. We've already got a U on the board. Is that with unlocks on? Maybe. That's the multiplication key. We'll need that. I think that's a FN key. That's the end key, which we do need because that's going to go there. That's the numpad 2. Down arrow. Some of these are nice and easy to see, others are terribly difficult to see. F3. Stepped caps. That's the wrong logo. It must be from the international kit. There's the 2 key. That's page up, but it's the wrong profile. That's 6. Oh, we got the wrong 6 on here? Yes, that's the correct 6. It's using a scoop popular thing. Feels weird using them personally. I tend to use bars, but scoops are fine. Standard black with sparkle shot. Oh, is it the other one's inverse? I think we've got the sparkle one here. Yeah, okay. Kind of different to scoop versus bar, but personally it's much preference. Yeah, okay. Would it be F13? You could put F13 there. I've just put the cherry logo there because it's nice. This looks blackly awesome. It's so hard. It's really frustrating. How come Matrix Labs have really short group buys? Is there a reason you're aware of? I think that's just how they prefer to do it. That's just their preference in how to run their products. They want to run the group buy and get things into production as quickly as possible. Like, we'll be invoiced by them within a couple of days of the group buy ending. So I think that's a numpad key. That's the wrong profile. Why? It is the Y key, but it's the wrong profile. Some of these are almost impossible to see. Trying to find the shift key. It's a 1.25U length. Alt GR. Let's find. That's the control key. It's not that shift key. F6. F8. Alt. Nice. £3. That's the one we wanted. Shift. Yes, excellent. This is the correct 5, so that must be the incorrect 5. Yeah. Okay. That's the numlock key I wanted. That's the correct delete. I just put it in the wrong spot though. Why did I put it there? There's Y keys in the ink kit that confuse me. Yeah. Have you built a Pangea yet? No, not yet. All of them could be in the wrong place and you'd never know. Trust me, I wouldn't do this wrong. It has to be right. Insert goes there. Some of these I just can't tell. Or it takes so long to be able to tell that it's almost not worthwhile doing. That's F13, but we don't need it because we've done that. I'm not sure what a 1.5U shift key is used for, but it has got one. Finding some numpad stuff now. Scroll lock goes there. This is taking so long. Like, I can't even see a legend on this one. I cannot see a legend on that keycap. I'm sure there is one. I just can't see it. I'm gonna guess it's something I don't need, but let's put it there just in case. Oh, maybe. Is that wrong profile? Yeah, okay. So that explains that. Oh, okay. I see what I've done here. I see. Okay. There. That's that bit fixed. Some of the legends are just so small, you can't tell what's actually there. Man, oh man, this is taking a long time. Page up. I'm still reeling from buying GMK Olive and only later realizing it didn't have true split-based spacebar support. It's sad. Is that when it happens? Numpad operators too. Yeah, I've got the numpad operators to one side, I think, but like, some of them are just almost impossible to see. I am dreading that we're going to get to the end and I'm going to have a load of blank spaces and I'm going to know that the keys are in this pot and I'm going to have to go through them all again to get... I think that's 0. No, we've got 0 already, so it's not that. That's the opposite of that. It's X. That's the correct page down. No, it's not the correct page down, Jake. What are you doing? That's the wrong page down. Is that the correct A that's on the board? Yeah, okay, so that's the wrong A. Yeah. This is spare B. That's a numpad thing. Is that the right page down? Yeah, that's the right page down. Just a numpad key. F11. That's the 4. Nope. Need a spacebar. F7. Can't tell. Alt. That's the 8 key. Okay, we're getting there now. We are getting there. I'm sure this says F8, but it can't be. Okay, so that's actually F9. That's F9 and that's F2. Okay, so we still need an F4 and F10. F4. Okay, that's print screen. There we go. F12. There we go. There we go. I'm just going to check these because I've looked at every other keycap now, so I feel like I should. I really can't tell what's on that key. That feels like a blank. Okay, I'm satisfied that they're all wrong. Right, we didn't need that caps lock key in the end. We don't need that end key. So what do we need? Which order are we going in? Let me just get up a numpad here to see what order we're going in. So we should go divide, multiply, minus. Minus, but that's the wrong profile. There it is. Okay, well, let's get rid of that. So we just need that's the badger. There we go. What a pain that was. What's the image link you're sending me? Here's the inverted map. Yeah, I just couldn't remember which order they went at the top, but I've got it now. Yeah. Man. That was painful. It's done though now. It's done. Thank you, Mr. Reed, for sending that image. I appreciate you. Right, okay. Here we go. This is the seal, full size, with GMK Cosmos on the Cosmos edition. It does look good. It does look good. It looks really good, but I'm really tight. You can see the sparkle here. Look, the sparkle actually shows quite well. Only took 20 minutes. Whew. Thanks for sending the keyboard for me, Jay. We'll DM my address soon. Hey, yeah, you can. If you send me 800 quid, yeah, you can have it. That's fine. We'll do a quick typing test. Let's pause the music and do a really quick typing test, so you guys can see what it sounds like. But I think it's going to sound good. It's a little bit bouncy than I was expecting. Don't know if you can see the bounce in the flex. It's more flexy on the sides. It sounds really nice. It does sound good. It's quite muted. I was expecting it to be a bit more poppy than this because of the type of switches it's using, but it does sound really nice. It feels really nice. I think what would be really nice here is if I used UV LEDs, so it actually came through as like black light here. That'd be quite nice. So I might have a look and see if I've got some spare ones for that. It is a personal board, but as sad as it is to say, this will be one of the boards that goes in my personal collection for sale when that happens. I don't know when that's going to be, but it's going to be at some point relatively soon, I think. But yeah, more news on my personal stuff. But sadly, I won't be able to afford to keep this. I spent too much money on it. So it will be one of the ones that's for sale. Does a blacklight work on these keycaps? I haven't tried it. I do have one downstairs. I was looking around for it earlier on because there was one up here at one point. But the blacklight I have is downstairs because that's where SA Black is. But maybe it would help a little bit. It does sound good though. It does sound good. It's really nice to use. I think I'd struggle with this on a daily basis though. I really do. Like I think I'd want a 60% with Legends on, not a numpad as well. It is a 1965 album, yeah. Yeah, thank you for noticing. So yeah. But sadly, I just can't afford justifying keeping it, unfortunately, at the minute. Buying a house is significantly more important, and moving the PT workshop is significantly more important. So that is what we are going to focus on, and that's why I'm probably going to have to sell this. But it does look good. There's kind of some angles where you can see the legends really nicely and clearly. Like here you can see the QWERTY, but it's so hard to get the whole board visible at the same time. Like that kind of works. Just there kind of works for you guys, I think. It doesn't work for me, but it does for you. So yeah, it's frustrating. Evil Dolch with ISO would look awesome. I don't own Evil Dolch. But yeah. Okay, I think that's it for the stream today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This has been nightmare-fueled, anxiety-driven, bad memories, good memories, people asking difficult questions. Gemma, send me your details because you asked the best question about the what would we do if we created a new bank holiday. I think that'd be good. But thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'm going to head home now. I'll see you guys tomorrow on Instagram, stuff like that. So keep an eye out on that. Please buy something from the store. Give us some support. And I'll see you guys on Instagram and on stream over the next couple of days. Thank you so much for watching. And Jellymaster, thank you so much for the gift subs right at the very end. Take care, guys. Have a really good rest of your weekend. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.